FYF Sports. It's Lamont. We back. Another new topic to talk about. Y'all see the title of the video. And see, here's the thing, y'all. You know, when I look into things, especially hot topics like this, I do some in-depth research, and I always come from a different angle. So when I saw this topic, all right, when I saw all these articles, people were asking me about it, my opinion on it, Instagram, Twitter, I said, it is what it is. I didn't really care until all of a sudden I said, let me do some research on this. And there were two articles that I found. Okay, so the first article was on obviously the person that you see on the thumbnail. And I can pull that. I'm gonna share my screen with you really quick. Just so I can show you what I saw and one of the biggest problems with this whole situation. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. So here's the first article that I found. Obviously, you see we have the transgender Gabriel Ludwig, a 50-year-old man playing with very, very young girls on a basketball team. All right. Now, I know we live in a world that's crazy. I know we live in a world that's going to allow all types of things. People can claim they're this, people can claim they're that, gender, all of that. We've been through the Bruce Jenner, the Jenner saga, and how a man won Woman of the Year. That was confusing in and of itself. But so I was reading this article, and obviously you guys see the pictures. So I'm just reading this article about this humongous man playing with these little girls, obviously dominating. And I said, are there other situations like this? And obviously, just to be politically correct, because I know there's probably going to be a couple people from the LGBT community sprinkling in here, so my video doesn't get reported, I'll say transgender, because obviously he selected his gender as a woman, so-called. But then, so I read this article, and obviously as you read this article, it talks about, it says Gabriel Ludwig, a transsexual basketball player at Mission College in Santa Clara, California, stands with her team during the game at the Contra Costa Comets tournament on the Contra Costa College campus. All right. I want y'all to listen to that terminology, you guys. All right. And this is real. And I want you to, again, because this is going to affect sports, because you know how we correlate this to sports. And I'm going to bring you guys in. I want you guys to touch on it from the same angle that I'm touching on it. So it says Gabriel Ludwig, transsexual basketball player. Perfectly fine. Okay. Now, I just wanted to research. Are there other situations? Are there other instances of this happening where you have men who switch genders and go into women's sports and just completely obliterate and dominate across the board? All right. So then we had another story. All right. Then we had another story. Here's the other story right here. Okay. So we had a story of Rashad Yearwood, who changed genders, and now he's known as, or now he's just known as Andrea Yearwood. So he went from Rashad Yearwood to Andrea Yearwood. And it says she is one of the fastest teens in Connecticut. Obviously. All right. Because this 17-year-old, and here's the funny part right here, y'all. See, and I want to see if y'all pick up on the difference of how the media is putting this out there. All right. and then not only pick up on it, again, I've done a video on how these words, when you put it out on the internet, how they impact the internet. And it says, because this 17-year-old Black transgender girl represents what they are afraid of no longer being the norm. So when you read throughout this article, they continuously refer to Andrea Yearwood as the Black transgender girl. As you can see right here, it says a Black transgender girl in a small town, 90% Caucasian area in Connecticut. A Black transgender girl in the world is intent on policing and erasing girls like her. This article right here continuously refers to Andrea Yearwood as the Black transgender girl. And I want to know, my question is when I look at the article with Gabriel Ludwig, in nowhere in this article is Gabriel Ludwig referred to as the white transsexual basketball player. But when you go to the situation with Andrea Yearwood is constantly referred to, not just in this article, but all over the internet, as the Black transgender. It even says it right here in the beginning of the article. 17-year-old Black transgender. My question is, what does the word Black have to do with the transgender portion of it? And again, remember you guys, if you watch my videos, I've done 2 videos on SEO, search engine optimization. The more articles that get written about transgenders, and they continuously refer to transgender by putting the description in front of it, Black transgender, it's always going to pull up articles like this. Why? Right? Remember what I told y'all. If y'all look at all of my video descriptions, I repeat a lot of words in my video descriptions. Why? For SEO purposes only. So when people search these topics, my videos come up first. When whatever topic I'm searching on, I will spam certain words over and over again, just so when you type it in Google, it's more than likely that my videos will pop up first. Everywhere you look on the internet, the word Black transgender is commonly used whenever they're referring to someone who's Black and transgender. But whenever they're talking about somebody who's white and transgender, you don't see the word white transgender basketball player. You just see transgender basketball player. This is why finding stories on Gabriel Ludwig are much more difficult than finding stories on Andrea Yearwood. And I want to know, why is that? Why is that? And this article was written on Bleacher Report. You know, do people think that if you throw the race card in it, Black people can be that easily swayed and galvanized to agree to something that they probably normally or naturally wouldn't agree to? It's crazy, y'all. But I want y'all to really look at this right here. This is a serious topic, because I know we can come in. I don't want you, if you don't think you can maintain your composure and speak like you got some common sense, just don't come in the live panel. Because I guarantee you, we got people watching this video who are ready to hit the report button and try to say this is a hate speech. So we got to come in here and we got to talk with some common sense and logic. We gonna come in here and talk today. All right. Because this is a very odd situation. And this is not to mention, you know, when we're looking at the situation with Andrea Yearwood, she's literally broken every track record that you can possibly break. You know, she's breaking records at an unbelievable pace over in Connecticut. All of the girls in Connecticut said they feel like they're running for second place. The only time that Andrea Yearwood actually lost, she got second. Isn't that a shocker? She got second. All right. She got second place. Oh, but they failed to tell you she got second place to another transgender who switched over. And they also refer to that other transgender student as a black transgender. All of the African American transgenders are always referred to as black transgenders. SEO. SEO purposes, y'all. SEO purposes, when you type in the word transgender, you're more than likely to find pictures of black transgenders than you are white because of SEO. There's a reason for this. Hey, Darren Hampton, I agree with that. Darren Hampton, I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm still not going to be going here and I'm not going to be irresponsible with my words because this is a political forum. I mean, this is a public forum. People can hit that report button if I start going off on a tangent about my personal opinions on this particular topic. I'm not about to go off on a tangent. I can still give my opinion on this. All right. I think I know what you're saying is true. I know what you're saying is true. All right. Especially when we look at, all you have to do is look at the men's and women's Olympic track records. All right. That's all you have to do. That tells you that there's nothing similar about men and women in sports. All right. When a woman dunks a basketball in the WNBA, which is the highest level of professional basketball, it's a big deal. I know 13-year-old boys who are dunking basketballs, and it's not a big deal. That's the difference right there. All right. That's the big difference right there. But I'm gonna drop the link for you guys. I'm gonna drop the link. I want you guys to come in here and chop it up with me about this because Joe Biden just passed a trans policy, and Joe Biden also has selected a new justice for the Department of Education. And the new justice that he selected is in favor of allowing transgenders to participate in women's sports. Now, again, this is to be honest. See what I'm going at with this is right here. To be honest, at the end of the day, with the women's movement, the feminism, and all of this, I think this is something that they literally asked for, and it's just like unintended causes. They didn't think it would go this far. I mean, you push for so many rights for so many different things, and now it's knocking on your door. It's kind of backfiring on you because now you have young girls running in these track events saying, why are we running in these races? When you go to state in Connecticut, if you're a woman and you go to state in Connecticut and you're running the 100, 200, 400, 4x4, 4x1, you're going to have to race against these transgender. You're going to have to race against these transgender students. I don't know if y'all seen some of the images of these dudes racing or whatever gender they are, but they're racing. They are blowing the competition out, and it's not even close. Like, you know how demoralizing it already, if you ran track in high school or college, it's a shitty feeling to lose, but it's an even worse feeling when you get blown out. You know how embarrassing that is when you got all these people watching and you're getting beat by leaps and bounds. No, it's not neck and neck. We're not close. They're getting beat by long stretches, y'all. Long stretches, and it's not even close. I'm going to show y'all some pictures. I'm going to drop the link too, because I want y'all to come in. I want y'all to touch on these topics. Because we got to get to the bottom of this situation right here. We got to get to the bottom of this situation because something ain't right. Something ain't right here. And this stuff is being allowed. All right. Now, I may be wrong. All right. Hey, if we have anybody, because I saw a lot of people on Facebook really interested in talking about this topic. I dropped the link in those groups as well. Hey, if you want to come in the chat and you want to talk about it, I have no problem with that. but you better come correct with some information because I did a lot of research on this. All right. I don't want to come with that. I don't want to hear that I mentally feel this way, therefore I am. Because I tell you one thing right now, y'all. I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. I'm gonna tell you where they're not gonna play those games. If you're transgender and you commit a crime, I guarantee you, if you are a biological man, they're taking you straight to the men's prison. And if you're a biological woman, they're taking you straight to the women's prison. Because if it's that easy to change genders, I know a lot of men doing life in prison that would gladly reclassify their genders just to get sent over to the women's side. It's just, I mean, if we're gonna switch it, we might as well switch it up all the way. I mean, if you're gonna switch it like that, allow everybody to benefit off of it. If it's that easy to switch. And see, the problem is these gender assignments and gender roles, I see too many times how people transition into one gender from doing my research, but then they detransition. How do you detransition? So you're a biological man or woman, you transition into a trans man or woman. Then you say, oh, this is not working out for me. And I think there's just too many games that can play with it. And I just think I don't know, man. I don't know, y'all. Hopefully y'all got some better information on this for me. But I feel like we got to talk about it because it's going to start affecting sports. All right. Because if we allow this to continue, which it's going to continue because Biden's signing these executive orders, we're going to see women. We're going to soon start having a WNBA dunk contest. But it's not going to consist of natural women. It's going to consist of trans women. Is that what women really want in their sport? And it's not for me to decide. It's for the women who participates in these sports to decide. If I'm coaching a basketball team and I'm in a competitive coaching job, if I'm coaching D1 basketball, and I got 3 transgender boys wanting to play for my team, and I know my job is on the line, well, I might be for the bill. Come on, let's dominate. That's the funny side of it. That's if you're joking side of it. But my thing is, where's all the pressure to guys that want to transition in prison? Are we going to allow them to transition and send them over to the women's side so they don't get victimized in men's prisons because mentally they say that there's something else? Watch out. And then also we got to talk about the SEO. Why, when we're referring to transgenders, why when it's a white person, it's just transgender? Why when it's a black person, it's the black transgender? I told y'all SEO is powerful. SEO is an extremely powerful thing. It's a reason why that stood out to me. That should stand out more to you guys than anything. All right. That should stand out more than anything. Is there a hidden agenda here? Or is this just being done all in innocence? Is this what, or do they really feel like they're doing the right thing by doing this? Hey, true to king. Some coaches have. Some coaches have. In Connecticut, there are people pulling their kids out of those sports, saying, why do we have you compete and you've been working all your life? And then when we go to compete, wow. I mean, come on, y'all. Not making sense. The link is in the chat. I'm going to bring everybody in. All right, because I want everybody's opinion on this. And again, now this is directly correlated to sports. Yeah, as much as you want to avoid it, it's going to affect professional sports one day. You know, one day there's going to be a woman who says, I want to be a transgender man, and I think I can make it in the NFL. Will they allow her and subjugate her to those type of real life hits? In the real life, when it actually matters, will they allow something like that to happen? All right. That's the touchy side of this, y'all. See, when we talk about it, I just think people talk about the sports thing, but I wonder why people don't talk about everything else where people might want to transition. People are just kind of hush on all of those other things. We got a few people in the chat. Big Chest True to King CA3, Khalil, I want you to go first. I saw you typing a lot about this in the chat, man. Man, what do you got on this topic right here, man? What are your thoughts on like the first thing that I brought up, like the wording of whenever you search it?
Yeah.
Why do they emphasize Black transgender?
Well, Lamont, honestly, it's the same with Americans. You have African Americans, and when you refer to somebody white, you don't put that white in front of American. You just say American. So it's the same concept in regards to the LGBT. And a lot of the Black LGBT community leaders and activists and stuff like that, they need to address that, because then you're separating the two, because you guys are all supposed to be under the same flag, but you're separating yourself from the Black LGBT, and they're the ones out here doing a lot of the marching and protesting and stuff like that for LGBT rights. So I don't think that that's fair that you would do that, but it's the same concept. It all has to get, everything is based solely around race. So it's the same concept with us calling ourselves African Americans. And in regards to sports, I mean, you have leagues like the WNBA already complaining about money and, you know, the discrepancy between the men and the women. If you allow for a heavy influx of transgender men to go into the WNBA, there's going to have to be two different pay scales, because like you mentioned earlier, a lot of these women are going to either pull out or threaten to pull out because they won't be able to compete, because at the end of the day, yeah, you can put on a wig and lipstick and all that. You're still a man biologically. So you're going to have different attributes that benefit men more than women, you know, so there's going to have to be two different pay scales, because these girls aren't going to be able to compete. And then they're eventually going to get phased out, you know, and have to start another league in which, or either that, or they're going to start complaining and want to join the NBA with more roles than coaching and being a referee or something like that. So it's a real slippery slope. And in regards to like another transition, I was reading while you was talking, I was reading about this case that happened back in 2019, where you had this woman in Illinois, female prison, the biggest female prison in Illinois. There were some women that was talking about being raped by transgenders that was transferred to their jail. So they're already instituting the transgender situation in the prison system. I remember reading an article where it talked about a guy, I think he had life in prison, and it was a white guy. He, you know, they're not going to say white transgender, just say transgender, but this person actually switched their sex to try to get switched out of the male prison and into an all-female prison system. And the last time I checked, I think that it went through. This happened like late last year, early this year, but I think it actually like went through. So it's already being incorporated within the prison systems.
Yeah, he passed it basically. I mean, Joe Biden basically passed his first day in office.
All Joe Biden is doing, sorry, Shrew, all Joe Biden is doing, this is my last point right here, but all he's doing is picking up where Obama left off. If you look at some of the policies Obama passed, he passed the same-sex marriage law. He passed the same-sex adoption laws. So when Black people always get grouped up into these groups, I always tell Black people, stop doing that, because all the rest of these people get stuff specifically for them. We're the only group of people in this country that hasn't had anything specifically done for us that would benefit us. You look at that DACA program that Obama instituted, that benefited Latino Americans. You look at all of the LGBT policies that he passed that specifically targeted LGBT and everything like that. But when it's Black people, it's always considered divisive. When it's something that our ancestors worked hard for and has free slave labor that built this country, and we can't get compensated to this day about it. But the Indians, the Irish, like the Japanese during the Pearl Harbor and everything, every other group has been compensated for their wrongdoing except for African Americans. And now you have a split within the LGBT community with African Americans and every non-Black LGBT member. It's just two totally different LGBTs, because they don't look at us as the same. We're not the equals to nobody else in this country.
That's true right there. That's all facts. Hold on, we got somebody new in the chat. I think I've seen them in here before, but I may be wrong. We got MXBC Entertainment. I seen you hop in. What do you got on this topic? Just from any perspective, what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on this is that I think that they can get the other players or the other boxers, whatever sport you want to talk about, injured too, not just, and it can enhance their performance but it can get the other players injured, because these are men at the end of the day. These are still grown men at the end of the day. Whatever, like the other guy said, you could put lipstick, makeup, do plastic surgery, all that stuff, bro, but you're still a man at the end of the day. And you can get other people injured. It's just not fair at the end of the day. Like we had a example, in boxing, there was a so-called woman, who but looked like a man and everything, and on top of that was using PEDs. So you're a man in women's sport, but because you're transgender, they give you, and on top of that you're using PEDs, and then they didn't even take the belt, strip her from the belt, and it's just a lot of stuff going on in these sports, and a lot of they have a lot of agendas. These sports, you can tell that they have a lot of agendas.
Yeah, you talking about the Franchon Cruz DAZN situation. What happened was that when that person got popped on PEDs, the WBC was forced to strip that belt away and give it to Franchon Cruz DAZN because she actually won the fight. I know exactly what situation you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a story here where it says Fallon Fox.
Big as hell.
It said Fallon Fox broke a woman's skull in competing in MMA.
That's a
Here's
damn.
There's a knockout punch right here.
Oh my god!
That ain't
even fair, bro.
I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff getting broken in a fight, but I've never heard of nobody breaking their skull in a fight.
And listen here. I gotta say something, man. Listen, you can be anything you want to be, but at the same time, where's the integrity of that? It's just shameful. Like, listen, it'd be different. It'd be no problem if, like, okay, I want to be a woman, and you still playing with them. You still playing with the men, whatever. But you gonna sit up here and you're gonna compete with the women. And the only reason why they doing it is they have an advantage. It's obvious. It's not because you really feel, I'm a woman, so I just need to compete with a woman. No, they're doing it because they get a obviously advantage. That's all. That's really what it is. It'd be like, all honesty, you know what I mean? That's why it's shameful. It's like there's no integrity. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
You're breaking all these records, but why? Okay, it's like that's discouraging. It's discouraging. Like you already know. Okay, oh man, such and such on the rate, I'm not gonna win. Like, come on now. Like, it's crazy.
Hold on, BJ313 said I need to have a Patreon for topics like this, but at the end of the day, it's about how you present the topic. We can talk about anything on here. It's the way you can talk about anything, without disrespecting people. Again, this is a very important topic to talk about. See, and I think that's one of the strongest things that the transgender community has in their favor is that they don't like people asking questions. See, when you ask those questions, do you really have an advantage? They take an offense to that. And instead of really answering the question, is there a physical advantage or a competitive advantage? They say that, well, you're not supposed to be asking those questions. Yeah. I think we should be able to ask those questions, because at the end, when some of us are going to have daughters or sons and that are going to get affected by this. And let's imagine you take your daughter to baseball, whatever they want to play, track, whatever sport, wrestling, and the next thing you know, they're going against a biological person of the opposite sex. Now, I think especially when you're dealing with men transitioning in women's sports, where their physical advantages are not just a small or a little bit, it's a humongous gap. Like when you look at, I ran the 800 in high school. My best time in the 800 I would have won the Olympics with my best time. I would have broke the Olympic record for women. But I'm terrible. If I go against men, they're beating me by half a lap. So I mean, that's the difference right there. And I was an average 800 runner. Like when you look at the two guys who transitioned in Connecticut, they were on the boys track team. They were average boys. They transitioned and joined the women's track team. Now they're state champions, breaking every record. And they were freshmen. Freshmen, that's like unheard of in high school, where freshmen break every high school track record in all of the speed events. That's tough. Hold on. We got B's just hopped in here. I know he's got something on this one. What do you got for us, B?
Hey, actually, I don't got too much.
What up, B?
Firecracker right here, man.
No, it's not. You got to be spoken on. Got to be talked about.
Yeah, but here's the thing, bro. I don't know. I don't know. They got us in a hard spot, right? Because they got all our people on this equality shit, right? And so most black people, they give in for equality as opposed to black benefits, like Khalil was saying earlier. So now we done voted these motherfuckers in to do these things, and this is how they get away without doing stuff for the black community. See, we're making everybody the same, right? Even if you are a guy and now you want to be a girl. And to me, I don't really see it affecting professional sports that much because those are private businesses. Where I see it is in high school sports, where the state can now mandate that your son play that man or whatever, right? That's where I think is going to be the issue. And you're going to see less kids. You're going to see less parents allow their kids to compete in situations like that.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
From the pro level, you signing contracts and shit, you know what you're getting into with that. So, you know what I mean? I don't think it affects that much.
Yeah, but they've already allowed some transgender fighters to fight in professional fights. And again, that's a skill. That's more because the lady that we saw there breaking somebody's skull, she actually lost to another woman.
Right.
So you can be outskilled in some of these things. It's not always about physical strength, but I think in the overwhelming majority of sports, like even Serena Williams admitted it. She said if I were to play in the men's side,
she gets smoked.
Yeah, I would be. I wouldn't even be ranked. Like,
yeah, but like the MMA shit, they have to take the testosterone test. So she got to be taking estrogen for her to compete. She can't have no testosterone. Because if she tests too high, they won't let it. And
then see the problem with that is a lot of these women who are transitioning, they're generally transitioning at a very high age where they've already reaped all of the benefits of having testosterone for their whole life. Yeah. So switching to estrogen at the last minute is going to have minimal effects because you've reaped all the benefits of testosterone for 20, 30, 40 years.
That may be true, but when you add in the weight cuts and the training, and you don't have that testosterone, you gonna be weak.
Yeah.
If you go into a fight. But again, like I said, like that MMA fight, I don't got no problem with that. That other lady signed the contract. She knew what she was getting into. She knew what she was doing. And so on the pro level, you ain't gonna get those matchups where people can't make decisions. Right? In high school, you're going to get some dude playing girls basketball, and your daughter ain't going to have no choice. That's who's going to roll in with the school.
I think tennis is really the only sport that's came up with a feasible answer. And then track has also implemented it too with the mixed races, where you got men and women running. But I think even in those mixed events, that can get tricky because you can get, like, if you're running the 4x4 relay, you can get 2 men and 2 trans men and you dominate
Right. Hey,
You
what was
dominate.
the girl from Africa that she was born that way?
Yeah, she was a girl. She just tested too
Yeah.
high with testosterone.
Right.
It was
They
in,
banned her. Remember, they wouldn't let
yep.
her run and shit.
And hers is just all natural. She was born a woman just with high testosterone levels, and they banned her just for having naturally high testosterone levels.
Well, I think she had she had both departments.
Oh, okay. I forgot what that's called.
Hermaphrodite.
Okay.
Yeah, she had both departments working there. But but they put her out on Front Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's somebody natural, and they vilified her. But you got all these motherfuckers that make the choice, and they cool.
Yeah, my thing is how the information's being presented too. That's why when I brought it in, we could talk about this subject of how we agree with the competition or not. But my thing is how they present the information. When I go to research this information, when I'm typing in transgender and sports, I see all of these black athletes popping up, and I'm wondering why. And then it takes me 20 minutes to find the story on this humongous guy, 50-year-old playing women's college basketball, just sitting out there dominating. It's just like, come on, man. But that story's harder to find. He's 50, 6'8".
Somebody got background noise.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody has a TV running or something.
Yeah, I mean, our plight in society ain't gonna change just because we go to gays and they gonna maintain the same social norm. It was something Khalil said earlier about a Caucasian in this country is viewed as a Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't used to always be the case, right? They didn't used to call all whites Caucasians. They used to label them by where they came from. But they figured out that, hey, you know what? The blacks economically were starting to get a foothold on the country. I mean, they was actually segregated and growing, self-reliant. And then they figured out, because all the other groups, you had Chinatown, you had the Italians, and everybody went to their own thing, and they figured out, hey, we showing them the wrong example. So we'll just make everybody white, and the blacks will be over here.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
Exactly.
They flipped the script on us, because at some point they was showing us how to be self-sufficient, and they realized it and stopped.
That's a good point right there. I like that. It's just, man, I just think while we all focused in on sports and all of these other things, I think a lot of people didn't even know that this new trans policy even got passed. I think True the King might have knew because it directly affected the military, and he's involved with the military. But there's a lot of people didn't know it got passed and how it would affect everybody to some degree, not just people in the military. Even with the new department, the justice for the Department of Education coming in, they were grilling him today in Congress about his stance on this issue with transgenders in sports. And I hate to agree with some of these Republicans, but some of these Republicans were actually talking with some common sense. And they were just basically saying it just is not right. Like, it doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. That's why I put the title of the video. When you see it with your own two eyes.
You can't say natural these days.
Okay. Well, it's sad. It's sad how they try to make it so you can't talk about it. That's why I wanted to not put this on Patreon or nothing, because I know it's something we could talk about publicly and then still stay professional with it. Hold on, I want to try to get a few more people in here.
The problem with this, it's hard, and it's hard to really just to have these kind of conversation because it's canceling culture, man. It's ruining us.
Those we don't speak of.
Every time we have a question about someone else's agenda, it's a problem, and we need to be canceled.
They don't want you to know that.
That's a problem with the society, once again, we've been put in the back of the line by the Democratic Party. Once again, we fell for the trap. Once again. Once again,
Well,
All right, Taj, let me ask you a question.
nah, it's CA3.
Let me ask you a question.
CA3. What's up?
Why
oh
did
my
you
God, can
expect anything different?
I didn't expect anything different. I was just telling people. I mean, it's not surprising to me. I was just laughing at everybody else who fell for the trap.
No,
can I answer?
I mean, it don't matter who
Can I
you
cool?
vote for. The agenda is
Can
the
I
same
cool?
on both
Wait.
parties.
I understand. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know. I
Hey,
mean,
Lamont.
yeah, that's
Yeah, what's up, Big Chest? Let me go ahead and let Big Chest get his thought in on this real quick. Then I'm gonna go to Renegade.
All right. Now my thing is, honestly, this is basically a trough for identity politics in all sense.
right.
Not just the sports connotation of it, but since I'm not gonna get into the deeper stuff because I'm not that intellectually sound on that. But to the sports context, scientifically, the average male athlete conducts over 1,000 cubic square feet of torque, per mile, and that's basically the average male track and field runner ages 15 to 18, so basic high school age. And the average female is about 300 times less, which is a significant difference. However, like, you got all these dudes, regardless of, you got some dudes that are just saying, oh, I want to be a woman and everything. They put up the lipstick and makeup and all that stuff. And you got other dudes that are actually going to these doctors and getting these procedures done and getting all this estrogen doing, and they're getting all this stuff doing with their bodies and their DNA structure and everything. And the problem with that, it might seem like they're turning into like an actual female, but in actuality, they're basically getting souped up. So the idea how you hear those superstitions about like those super soldiers in China, that same
Mm-hmm.
DNA technology is being used here. And the problem with that is, like, these girls, that actually want to compete and actually want to have a fair chance, they don't have a fair shot. The problem is if you question why they're doing this, they're not gonna say their probably true reason is like to get an advantage. They're gonna go to, well, I feel I should be this way. Well, I feel like that I was born this way, and I feel like I feel that I'm born in this body, but I'm this gender and everything, or I'm non-binary and all these extra types of genders that they have. And the problem is you can't confront them like just confront them. You have to beat around the bush. You have to do all this stuff. And to be honest, they basically say, I'm doing this. You shouldn't care. If you do care, you're invading my privacy. You're judging me and everything. And that's how it shouldn't be. And it actually is. And the problem with that, with Joe Biden signing this law, is that you're basically going to censor these people from actually speaking their minds. You're basically going to censor these parents that want their girls, their daughters to compete. You're going to say, you're going to basically say, well, if you don't agree with this decision to let these transgender athletes play this sport, well, your daughter can't compete, or you won't be allowed at this sport. And then what nobody really talking about is the transgender females wanting to play with male sports. Like, transgender females wanted to play football, or or baseball, or men's basketball. And the problem with that goes back to what Lamont was saying about the women's movement, because they was clamoring for equality and they want equal rights and equal pay and everything. And then now you're starting to get what you want. But is it truly what you want, or were you just saying that because you didn't like, or were you saying that because things weren't going your way and you was mad because you just wanted to say stuff because you wasn't willing to do anything about it yourself? And I think it's starting to see some of these people that were claiming for these equal rights and everything, it's starting to bite them in the butt. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a paradigm shift, especially in the high school and college level of sports. With all this stuff, there's going to be a major paradigm shift. And basically, if you don't bow down to this LGBTQ agenda, if you don't bow down to these new laws, they will not only cancel you, they will find a way to permanently erase you. And that's just a fact.
I just think I think with me, this is just my biggest issue with it, is how do you moderate it when it's about your feelings? So how can you differentiate the people that are faking it to make it, and the few people that I'm not going to act like there might be some people that might really feel like that, but I guarantee you there are people out there that are faking it to make it. How do you differentiate if you're not asking questions, or if there's no real test or nothing you can do to really determine
Because
what's really going on?
Alamont, like it's easy because
Because it ain't about that.
identity politics isn't based on facts. It's based on how I feel, and there's no law basically that can overturn how a person feels. And people that know the Constitution, these groups, they're going to use the Constitution. Freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and everything. You can't. There's no law that constitutes what a person thinks and everything. Now, how a person acts, yes, but then again, this this movement is so strong and they're so defensive. They're basically half a cancel culture. You say
It ain't
they
just
will
them.
find a way to block any and they'll find a way to block and deflect any sort of questions or semblance of facts that you'll try to get from them. And at the end of the day, like I said, man, they're just gonna they're gonna try to make people bow down to this one. And like you said with the black thing, with the black transgender, they're just using it to virtue signal. Like, okay, this is like they're saying, okay, black folks, this is a sector of y'all that ain't getting treated right. I'm like, we all ain't getting treated right. Gay, straight, whatever
Yeah.
orientation you want to do, we all ain't getting treated right. Y'all just trying to make it seem like, okay, this is just different levels. It's different levels. I was like, no, we all getting messed up by the system. It's the same
Well,
thing. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. And then the same people that y'all say that support us are the same people that are giving money to the backstabbing party that's been backstabbing us for 50 plus years and ain't nothing gonna change. So
Yeah,
why
but
so why would I
oh,
trust this?
just to comment on that, like for example, let's take the equal right movement, right? That equal rights movement was a cloak to fix the affirmative action movement.
Mm-hmm.
So all they did with the woman equals rights is see they got us talking about women are equal and they got that theme out there, but what it was really about to hire white women in place of minorities
Yep.
and call them minorities. So
Mm,
when you hear the word
yeah,
equality and you hear that, what they're really saying is replacing. You don't got to hire no blacks. You can just hire white women.
yep.
That's all that was.
Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
2015,
Hey,
2015, the LOB Act, people forget about that. That was one of Obama's last laws that he made right after the LGBT act that he signed. The Elegy Act, people don't know about it. It was the Women's Right Act, which basically said that any federal job, any public service job, a woman has the right to equal pay. Now, I ain't gonna get too deep into this, but like the sports athletes things, I'm just like the reason why these female athletes aren't getting paid as equals and everything is mainly because of revenue. It's not because there's a whole
mhm.
bunch of people
It
saying,
ain't
well,
money.
women are
Yeah.
inferior and all that stuff. It's because they're not getting the same amount of revenue as these men's sports. That's just facts. But like you said, like it was a ploy to get white women into jobs over black over black people. And what people don't realize is that we come to the fact that over the last 12 years, okay, 8 years, we basically let a man get away with not doing nothing for us just because he's black. We basically let him get away with neglecting black people because we was like, man, we got a black president, we got a black this, we doing big things, and yet nothing happens for us. And then we get through 4 years of what I call foolery personified. Yet the fool makes more laws for black people than the person that we trusted 8 years to. Like, ain't that
Yeah.
ironic?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
those benign and neglect laws. Like they
actually
passed these laws back in the '60s, where you'll have these politicians telling black people that they'll do things for them, and then when they get in the office, they don't do anything. It's they running the same script on black people since the '60s, or since we was allowed to vote. And that's why I tell a lot of black people,
hey
our
dog,
ancestors fought for our right to vote,
yeah.
but they would want something out of the vote. Like, stop running off tradition. Just because your grandmother and all these different people, your elders voted, they wanted something out that vote. Like, withhold your vote. If
Hey,
these people can't give you anything that you ask for and you put money behind it, like that's one of the biggest problems black people have is that we don't buy or rent politicians. You have to start putting money behind these people
Hmm.
and making demands. Like, just like
poli-
with the Hispanic community,
yeah,
like they put money behind Obama. You look at Eva Longoria, who was Tony Parker's ex-wife. She put together a whole group of people, a whole group of Latino people, and they put money behind Obama.
yep.
That's why he gave them stuff specifically for them. Like that's where we fail, is that we don't put money behind these politicians. It doesn't necessarily have to be the president. It could be your governor, your senators, your board of education, like all of these different factions within the government. You put money behind these people, and if they don't get your agenda across, then you chastise them for it. But if you're not doing anything like that, you don't have the right to complain about nothing.
Right. I know. My fault, Beast. I know I'm just
good.
tuning in, but what happened? I was like, I seen the title. What's going on? What happened? I'm in the lost.
Oh,
My
just
girl made me watch Snowfall all day, so I'm in the lost. What's going on?
transgender stuff. I'll just say this, and then Mamont can tell you. Politics, in its true meaning, is defined as who gets the benefits. That's really what politics is about. It's about who's going to get the benefits. We keep, again, I know I harp on this. We keep coming to the table with asking for social things, and we don't require anything in return for our votes. We just give them away because we let the Democratic Party trick you into believing Donald Trump was racist and wanted to take you out when he the first president ever in this country to acknowledge that black people built the country.
Yeah, sure was. And you saw his chess move when he ended his presidency. You know what his chess move was? Leaving the White House.
Lil Wayne and Kodak.
You see all those pardons from those black people, because people like you, right? Bees. They allow the Democrats to trick them because Donald Trump always like hung around blacks and rappers and.
Khalil, I think what Trump did right there, I think that was the greatest business move of all time.
It was.
Now, really any business that he affiliates himself with, once he's done, black people gonna be on board with it. You look at Lil Wayne, look at Kodak Black, look at the mayor in Detroit.
Yep.
He
Patrick.
We again, anything he might have said or any transgressions, any beefs that we had with him, all gone. So that was a smart move by him, because knowing that he's dealing with some financial troubles of his own, he's going to rectify all that off the backs of black people who are going to put money right back into his pocket off any business venture that he goes into because of what he did on his way out. So, I don't knock him for it. That was a great business move on his part. He's going to profit off of it big time.
I mean, I don't knock him either. I mean, it was a smart move.
And I think we are the only culture where I think somebody I was listening online. He used an example. He says you can't go to an AIDS rally yelling out, "What about cancer?" He says we let people come to our rallies yelling out, "Well, what about us?"
Yep, they hijacked it.
Yeah, they hijacked it. And so
with this latest stunt here with the George Floyd, you know how many other cultures hijacked that whole movement and was burning shit down and made it look like it was us. You right, Lamont, 100%. Like you right.
That's
because we don't have no leaders, bro.
Yeah.
We don't. Who leads the black community? Who do we look to as leaders?
But you don't necessarily have to have a leader, because when you look at white society, they don't have no leader. Their leader
no, they do, bro.
Their leader is within their code. Like they understand. Like this is what black people don't understand. Now, I worked in corporate America for 15 years. Whenever it was a bunch of white people, through osmosis, they automatically knew, okay, we all white amongst a group full of non-white people. So we gonna all stick together. They don't even have to say it. They just know it because there's a code of conduct in place. You don't have to have a specific leader like a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King, because those guys are going to get wiped out like they always do through history.
Yeah,
like,
but
you have to have a code of conduct.
I'm telling you, bro, they have a leader. You don't see blacks going to Capitol Hill doing what them white people did.
Well, because we know it's a double standard in the way they police us.
All Trump had to say was they trying to steal it from me. Them people gonna raise hell.
Yeah, because you notice what you just said though. Like you just gave out a dog
saying
whistle.
that all of that shit was.
That's dog whistle language. Trump spoke in dog whistle language his whole presidency. He doesn't have to say it outright. White people know how to draw inferences from what somebody's saying without saying it.
Hey, who was his biggest supporter?
Who?
Trump's.
You had the sheriff Clark dude.
David Duke, right?
It was the racist groups.
Yeah,
That was
that's
his
how he got in
base.
there.
That was his base, right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how he got
Now,
in there.
outside of the racist groups,
Mhm.
all the other white people filtered in. The exact same you just said. They understand the code.
Right.
They understand the code. There's a written rule. There's a written code.
Yeah,
Whether you
code.
like blacks or not, you ain't supposed to.
hmm
This is how we treat them people.
And they
That
proved
that
it when they went up to
that is
Capitol Hill.
years, and that's why I said they have leadership. They have people who are organizing, who are talking in code, who are acting in code, and they follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they all understand that they're the global minority, but yet they own 90% of the resources on the planet. So they know in order to keep that, like they dominate all areas of activity. They dominate the economic system, the entertainment business, and that's formed by a lot of the LGBT and Jewish people. Like the hospitals, like everything, like the military, like they dominate all areas of activity. So
You
as a black person,
Yep.
you don't have a
you
military to back
you
up
done
what you
said one
say.
too many words.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have things in place that, like, if a race war was to break out right now, black people would be dead last because all we doing during these marches and protests when it's time to act serious, niggas want to twerk and do all this
Oh no, you
stupid
said
shit,
you
and
you, you said dead last.
we
I
would be
say
dead last, bro.
no, we dead first.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying, but we would be out of
Yeah,
there.
we
We would
dead
be out of
Oh
first.
there.
shit.
We would be out of
We
because
we
we
got
don't
the
have.
least
Oh
amount of
Johnny.
guns.
Oh
We
man.
got the least
Yes,
amount of
He ain't
guns,
lying though. He
and
ain't
we got
lying.
the
I
least
don't
amount of aggression.
we got the least amount of everything, bro. Like they see white people, and I've learned this from a white person. And this was before the pandemic broke out. Do you know how much dry food and shit I'm stocked on that's lasting like 10, 15 years, like without touching it and sealing the wrappers and stuff like that? Like you have to be prepared at all costs because you never know what can take place. This global pandemic hit a lot of people out of nowhere, and a lot of people still haven't recovered from it. If you stay ready, you will have to get ready. Like I was already ready for
Okay,
the
you know
grocery
what's coming.
stores
You
being
know what's
closed and
coming in
stuff
the
like
next
that.
2 years, Khalil?
It's gonna be worse strands of this shit. This shit ain't going
Nah,
away no
bruh.
time soon.
Hey,
No
go
time
Food.
go
soon.
ahead, go ahead,
You
talk
got
about it, bees. You told
you
me this
got
over the weekend.
you got food shortages coming, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Yeah,
And who is that gonna impact the worst?
black people because we don't prepare for nothing.
Yeah. And
We
guess
don't prepare.
but there is a silver lining in the end, right? Because you take something like this, Lamont, right? As we progress
Mm-hmm.
and as we flip to digital currency,
Mm-hmm.
opposition will get you wiped out. They'll be able to go into a system and erase your funds. That's where we're headed. I know it sounds crazy, but as we progress to the more computer animation, digital money, they will be able to if you oppose anything they want, regardless of party, they will be able to wipe you out.
Yeah,
That's
Better
you
know
ain't
how to
sound you don't
vote for
sound
the
crazy,
people,
man. It's
son.
2021, man. You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
sound
No,
crazy.
he's spitting facts. I mean, because like you said, I mean, when you can control somebody electronically, like see where black people biggest issue. Like I remember growing up, like with my grandparents, like all black people knew how to grow their own food and like do their own shit. So like now you got this new age group of people that don't know how to do shit. They can't even boil water correctly. So how do you survive if you
Oh
don't know how to
man.
grow your own? That's power. It's the ability to grow your own food. That's power. Because now you don't have to rely on nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Better
You can get
make
out there
the
in that garden, get your own crops and shit, grow them, sell them. You know what I'm saying?
better make that shit illegal.
Well, hey, all you got to do is look at. I was just down at Purdue University. They have a program in agriculture. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see one black student enrolled in that program.
Exactly.
You know, but you got all the black students enrolling in sociology and all of these weird majors that might sound good, but at the end of the day,
Hey, shit.
it's not teaching you a real life
There you
skill
go.
that can
No.
keep you alive if things go wrong.
Exactly.
You know, they like, do you know how to grow this type of plant, these types of plants to keep you alive so you can eat in this type of weather? All right. Do you know how to make it survive throughout the winter? We don't understand none of that.
No.
No.
And that is why we're poor. See,
Yep.
most people don't understand. It ain't what you hear in our community. We got to get to this money, right?
Get to the bag.
Yeah, but the bag is production. It ain't the
Mhm.
dollar. You have to be able to produce. What Lamont's doing here, you get up here, you edit these shows, you do what you do. You producing. That's where the wealth is. The
Yep.
wealth ain't in getting the dollar. It's in the
The product,
production.
man.
Right. So we don't learn how to do that shit. We don't learn how to plant. We don't learn how to feed ourselves. Now we gotta ask for some shit. And guess what you
Mhm.
get when you ask for some shit? You get the scraps.
Yep.
Hey, panel.
Like a homeless dude asking for money in the street, man.
I mean, also another problem is that sometimes when black people get that money, they use it on dumb shit.
Yeah, look at these stimulus checks. Niggas went out and got the new Jordans, PlayStation.
Like look at Lil Uzi Vert, for example. This nigga bought a $24 million pink diamond and planted that shit on his forehead. What the fuck you got? What are you doing with $24 million?
Because he don't have no grown men in his life that surround him and give him structure. He don't have a OG. Like a lot of these dudes, like the OGs is dying off, bro. You don't have too many of them because these young dudes in this era don't like to listen. They think they know every fucking thing. So when you get somebody, even if it's a crackhead that done went through some shit on the streets, that's explaining to them like this will get you this. There's ramifications behind everything you do.
Right.
If they'll sit there and say, "Oh, well, he ain't got shit, so why the fuck would I listen to him?" You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know where the knowledge is coming from. Like it can come in any form, but they don't know how to heat to it.
Hold on, MacDef, you gotta activate your mic or your camera so I can let you in. I see you in the backstage.
Hey, everything that Bees broke down, he and I talked about this for nearly 3 hours Saturday.
Yeah. Hey, they got us on both ends, dog. They got us with the LBGT stuff. Because today, unlike when I was a kid, hey man, motherfuckers that was doing this shit, they kept that shit in the closet. You ain't see this shit in the black
Somebody
community.
said Lil Uzi came from a good household. He may have had both parents, but they weren't trying to parent him. They was trying to be his fucking friend. And that's
Here's
the problem.
the point, Khalil. It ain't the parents. It's the music industry. Notice how our rappers look today. Notice the game. Who pushes that? Who decides who gets signed and who don't get signed?
The LGBT community.
There you go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they are actually, what they're doing is through music and the other community, they are stripping away a black man's masculinity in our culture, which makes you easier to dominate even more.
That's facts right there. Hold on, let's see. We got Big Bless just hopping in. Hold on, we got MacDef. MacDef, what are your thoughts on this topic as far as the topic of the show when we were talking about the transgenders in women's sports and just how it's going to have a trickle-down effect with everybody, primarily, I think, blacks. What are your thoughts on that? And then I'm going to go to Big Bless when you're done.
Salute to the panel. Salute to the panel.
Salute.
Man, bro, I ain't even gonna lie. When I first seen the thumbnail, I was like, "What the? What's going on?" I ain't even gonna lie. It look like Andre the Giant out there.
Yo, y'all chill out.
Hey, but look. I'm not too. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't too educated on the topics y'all talking about. But I'm just gonna speak from my heart, and y'all can educate me later on it. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, if they want to, be a transgender, do what you want to do, that's cool. But as far as going into the sports arena, I'm with a couple of people in the chat who say they should have their own league. I'm with that. I think sports has an integrity about not allowing performance enhancing drugs to gain an advantage on your opponent. I see Joanna Man having an unfair advantage on Maya Moore. That's just you feel me? That's just my opinion. I don't think a transgender man should go into a women's sport and be able to dominate women because it's an unfair advantage. And
I don't think a woman transgender into a man should try to go and play a man's sport because it's still an unfair advantage biologically, I guess. You know what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't have a problem with them doing what they're doing, but I believe sports has an integrity of the game to say we're not going to allow this. You can have your own league, but we are not going to allow an unfair advantage on any of our players and so forth. That's how I feel on that topic. Now, real quick, I got a real quick question on the politics side that y'all was talking about because I was listening and chiming in on that. I agree with everybody's saying, you know, about Trump, about you know what black people need to do about the politics. My only question to this is, what is y'all solution? Because we could sit here and talk all night about the unfair advantages black people, politics, this, what's been done.
Yeah.
We could talk all night. We could talk facts. You feel me? We could talk the truth, the God truth. But we need to talk about solutions. I don't know nothing about this currency that's going on. I'm late, bruh. You mean they finna steal all my money because I don't know no cryptocurrency? I'm trying to get to the bag.
It's a mindset. The mindset. I think we got to start. I don't know. I don't even know how to start implementing this because I think it's in some places our culture is just so messed up. It's just too hard to fix the mindset. But just like what B said earlier,
somebody got
the value. Yeah, somebody has an echo, but the value is in production, and we don't see the value in producing anything. This is why we don't like. This is why you don't see a lot of black people buying land to produce because they don't see the value in it. You know, they see the value in having cash in your hand and making money phones. That's value because you have cash. That's their value, right? But when that money's gone, you know, when the crops are grown after you sell them, you can grow more and you have more money coming in. When that money's gone, do you have another way to bring in more money? Hold on, I'm gonna go to Big Bless and then I'm gonna go to Sean on the topic of the day with the transgenders in women's sports. What are your thoughts on that?
All right, man. Blessing on blessing, man. I'm gonna just shout you out real quick, Lamont, cause you like the CNN of sports right now, bro. Like, stay with a new topic, bro. But salute to that for not keep like never born, bro, on this show. So
appreciate it.
All I'm gonna say, my man's just said low key what I was gonna say, cause like we already was exposed to it in 2002 with Joanna, man. So now we got this going on. So check it out, man. My real question is like, what is going to be the ramifications? Because you know you're going to have people like anything else in life, bro. People is going to be out here trying to exploit that shit to the fullest. You're going to have regular ass niggas who just fuck their baby mama, say, fuck it, throw on the wig, go out there and drop 40 on the bitch. You feel me? So what's going to be the ramifications? You feel me? Like, do they even have guidelines for this stuff out here? So that's kind of crazy to me. You feel me? Like, I don't know, man. Like, all I can say, I'm not gonna get too deep on it, but me personally, I know that we had a fight. You know what? At the end of the day, we fight flesh. You feel me? But we also fight the devils out here, bro. It's a fight out here, bro. Like, so, you know, everything playing out how it's supposed to actually. So, I'm not gonna get too deep on it, but I mean, it is what it is, man. You just gotta, stay strong out here, man. Stay mentally tough, man, because it's a lot more on the way. Like this small shit right here, this actually small stuff right here, it's about to be way more that's gonna be thrown on the table, bro, in these coming years, man. So they just opening the door right now. Yeah, they just opening the door right now, man. But do I agree with it? The thing I would agree with is that they had their own sport. Trans basketball, trans football, trans hockey, you feel me? Like, do your own thing because that's how we would. Women basketball, men football, you feel me? So it's like, y'all.
But Big Bless, the funny thing is, and I didn't mean to cut you off, I was listening to some people on CNN talk about it. Obviously, they were advocating for transgenders playing in whatever sport they choose. And the lady was basically saying, She was like, if you don't allow them to play the sport, then she says you're basically telling them they can't play a sport at all. And I said, I'm saying to myself, no, that's not what they're saying. They're saying that you can play a sport, but it has to be this. You have to be affiliated with the sport that you're biologically assigned to at birth. If you're biologically a male, you have to play in male sports. You can't say I feel like a woman and I want to play in women's sports. That's all people are saying, because all it takes, especially at the high school level, is going. And unfortunate. This is the unfortunate, realistic part of this situation. It's going to take somebody dying for them to say, "Okay, let's stop playing these games. Let's just go back to reality." Because that's what it's going to have to take. Like, the reality of the situation is going to have to hit them in the face before they say, we got to change this. And even if that happens, that might not even change it because of how strong we let this movement get. But
yeah, you right, bro. But check it though. With all the money that they be putting towards their efforts, bro, like, they very strong, bro. If y'all that strong, just make y'all own stuff, bro. Like, it's not that hard to do, bro. Like, y'all come together, make your own thing. You feel me?
Hey, it's a
Basketball
gender already,
basketball
man.
started out.
It's a gender already,
They
man.
was hooping with a basket, a real basket. You feel me? So, hey, bro, y'all can start what y'all want to do. You feel me? Like, and I get what y'all saying, like, oh, it'll separate them, but at the same time, y'all already separated yourselves when y'all embrace the term trans. So, I mean, come on now, we can't be that hypocritical. Y'all already accept that y'all different. You feel me? So y'all might as well carry it on. You feel me? You feel me?
My thing is that yeah, back before integration, y'all are powerful enough to make a whole Negro league for us. Why can't they make it trans? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, the keys right there, man. Like, I mean, hey, it's the truth,
saying,
bro. Like, now if they didn't accept the term, everything they standing on right now would make a complete sense to me. But since y'all accept the term to be different, like, oh, we trans, we different. Hey, man, hey, y'all should accept the go, you know what I'm saying? Do y'all own thing when it comes to the sports and stuff like that. Nobody saying y'all can't work a regular job like everybody else. If y'all want a regular job, that's cool. Everybody work a job. But when it comes to the sports, like, come on, we got to do something. Like, y'all, it ain't that difficult to me in my eyes, especially with all the money that come behind y'all. Like, it's a lot of money at play when it comes to the LGBTQ 123. You feel me?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yep.
I mean, they dominate the entertainment business, man. You look at music, movies, they dominate all circuits of entertainment. So they definitely had the money to make that transition. But like I said, that's just going to put things back to its normal perspective and keep them separated. And that's what they don't want. They want to be integrated within society as a whole. Like, they don't want any separate leagues or separate this and that. That's why they're trying to incorporate this bathroom shit, where you got the same-sex bathrooms and all this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they want. But
look at this ratio. I'm gonna zoom in on it.
That's
Like,
wow.
do you know how hard it
female.
is? Hold on. Let me tell you. Like, look at the
That's a damn shame.
This is 100 meters. This is a 100-meter race.
He almost laughed.
That's no damn integrity. I swear, yo, no integrity whatsoever, man. Like, this is sad. They do it like.
Hold on, look at this. It's a 100-meter race, y'all. You know how hard it is to beat people in 100 meters by this gap right here.
And they be proud. They be proud, crying. And and then they got nerve to be crying after they won. I worked so hard for this. Like, come on, y'all. Like, come on, man. They do it. And this is the point. Like, I'm talking about. They doing it for clearly because they have an advantage. You don't see female transition to males playing a men's sports. You don't see that. You know why? You know why you don't see females transition to men? There's a reason why. Because you can't have, like, they do it for clearly for advantage, man. They not slick, man. They got no integrity. They got no pride. It's simple as that, man. No pun intended. No pride. And, like, you know what I mean? It's crazy, man. Like,
shit.
You know, like, it's crazy. That's shameful, man. Nobody has a. Hey, you can do what you want. Listen, this is the world we live in. You can do anything you want to do, but at the same time, man, BS is BS, man. Like
That dude dominated them, and like they look little and slow and tired.
I won't even race. I ain't gonna. I won't even race. I'll boycott. I was like, listen, we ain't racing, man. We all gonna lose anyway.
Bro, it's crazy.
We all gonna lose.
It's gonna be a lot of fights in the stands. I'm gonna tell you that shit.
And that, hold on,
it's gonna get messy.
That's my another point. And that's my another point. When people have altercations on the court, and somebody put their hands on somebody, man, listen. All right, y'all can keep. I'm dead. Listen. Y'all, they playing. This is the time we live in. It's very dangerous.
I want y'all to watch.
Very dangerous.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be able to be looking like the Moon Star from Space Jam playing against bro.
Because you know we see altercations all the time, even female sports. So
I want y'all to watch this right here. This is and this is what told me that it's a whole nother level to this when you talk about men's and women's sports. And this is a 4x4 mixed. It's a mixed relay. And so there was one team, they would basically said that we're gonna run all our men against the women to jump out to the humongous lead. And on the anchor lap, I want you to look at the lead that the lady has and how the dude from Jamaica hawked her down, man. I'm talking about, man, this is crazy right here.
Hey, you got any footage on that 50-year-old white dude destroying shit on the basketball court?
Oh, yeah. I was just downloading that right now.
Oh, I want to see that.
Look, this is when you run track, the worst feeling in the world is to have somebody hawk you down. And then if you're a woman, let's say you're a girl, and let's say you're the fastest woman's time in the state in high school, and you getting hawked down by a transgender guy, and you be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm the fastest woman. I mean, like, what do you like if you're a woman racing and you got somebody blowing right past you, and you know that's not a biological woman, man? What did you damn near want to quit the whole sport?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because they don't. That proves right there that they literally in track and field they literally don't have a chance. Track and field is all physical. I don't care if it's javelin, hammer, anything physical. If you look at all of the world records, the men separate themselves by a large margin from the women. It's a reason why that margin is so big.
That's a fact. And all I'm gonna say is when the women come together and they be so mad and they start petitioning them people and want to fight them people, I will be backing them up.
Then they gonna get their flames. They don't
want more money.
I don't care. Hey, the women, I bet the women up, bro. Like, hey, just go ahead, man. Cause hey, I already know that's all. That's what's next, man. That's what's next, bro. Like, cause the women ain't gonna accept that, bro. Like, you taking food out their mouth now. You taking medals off their neck.
They buy the feminists move by themselves on that.
Money out their pocket.
That's a lot of money too. When you don't win gold or silver, that's a lot of money you lost.
Hey, I have my popcorn. I eat my popcorn. I see the feminist movement and the LGBT. I'll be in my popcorn ready. I ain't helping nothing. Y'all asked for this, man.
They kind of did. I mean, to be honest, that's just what they asked for. Now you got to try to backtrack.
I take it more personally to like the women like that I care about. You feel me? In my life, you feel me? Like.
Yeah,
like all them come together and the people I care about it, I'm backing it. You feel me? Because I understand what y'all saying. Yeah, the other people, yes, they did. That is what they wanted, but that shit about to affect everybody. You feel me? That affect all the females. It ain't just gonna affect. Yeah, it affect the ones that voted for this stuff or whatever, how they supported it, but it also affect the people you care about too. So man, it's going.
If any people in my family, listen, man, you ain't doing. Listen, it's a waste. Listen. Boycott. Listen, so all y'all. That's why I don't understand it too. You got these females doing these races. Like I'm not doing that. You're not proving anything for like going to races. You already gonna lose.
There's gonna be a lot of fights in the stands. I'm telling you, my daughter.
It's gonna get real because
my daughter is old enough to race, and if she lose to one of these people, I'm gonna be upset.
I promise you, cuz, and you better not be celebrating and shit, crying and shit like True say, like, bro, I'm gonna make you cry.
My daughter lose to a lot of
backhanding some shit.
I'm gonna close my eyes and start swinging like dude on Boys in the Hood. I'm doing the same. Ain't no fucking way. My daughter gonna be competing against this shit, man. They gonna be competing against this shit, man. You got me fucked up.
Like this shit crazy,
they play with fire though, man. Listen,
here's the thing, and this is why, like, especially with those like the two guys in Connecticut that are taking over in track, the 17-year-olds that are taking all the records. The crazy thing about it, and this is what I think, I honestly believe this. I think a lot of people are not just coming out just saying what they want to say about it because of the articles that are being written. Like in the article that I showed y'all, they continuously say the black transgender. So I think a lot of people feel, oh, if I say something about this and I'm white, people are gonna look at me like I'm a racist because they're trying to like they're going out of their way to make it a race thing instead of a right or wrong thing. And that's the big thing. That's why they're trying to shut people up with the terminology. That's why I say that SEO is important on this. Like when you spam it, like if you look how many times in this one article, a black transgender girl is spammed in this article. This has to be intentional for the SEO factor. There's no way you spam that word that many times when the girl has a name. I mean, you're not even saying her name. You're just saying a black transgender girl multiple times.
I guarantee they got a black person to write that. Well, who was the author? Lamont?
The author was
probably a black woman.
She wasn't black. It looks like she may be Israeli or something. It's Marion Fader. She doesn't look white though.
Okay,
but I mean, she
There's
could be
with
black
that,
though. She could be. I don't know.
I feel you on that though, bro. It got to be something with that because at the end of the day, if you look in every community, every race, every color, every creed, whatever you want to call it, bro, they everywhere. They everywhere, bro. Like they everywhere, man. Like okay.
I think it's only gonna be I think it's only gonna be a real problem when it comes to like a sport like track, like you said, because it's physical. When they start trying to do boxing and UFC and like a dude beat up like a woman bad, I think that's when it's really gonna be like a problem. I think those only two sports that'll really make them like, okay, we might have to do something.
But here's the thing though, some of these females they gonna compete with them. That's the thing. You got some females is crazy. You say, listen, I can still win. No, I don't care. I still can win. You got females like that too, though. That's the other thing. And them same females don't have no problem.
Everybody will get in the ring with no John Jones.
Hey, but check it. We still in the age of everybody not everybody, but the majority of people like to snitch on themselves on social media. So you gonna have the cuz that gonna be chilling in the hood, smoking with the homies with it, chilling with the girl and shit. Then he gonna throw on the wig, take the Timbs off, throw on some little Nikes, and I'm gonna drop 45 on the bitch, bro. Like what you talking about, bro? You gonna catch him in the game later that night, dunking on hoes on ESPN. And what they gonna do? What they gonna do? They gonna find out months later after cuz in the All-Star game.
Once they incentivize it, I guarantee you, once they incentivize it, and let's say all of a sudden they raise the pay scale for WNBA players and they start making millions and millions of dollars somehow, some way. I don't see how it's gonna work, but if they incentivize it, I guarantee you're gonna have people making that leap. They're gonna test them waters to see if they can pull it off. Because of the money, people will do some crazy stuff.
Facts. Why not, man? Like,
but here's the thing, though, man. People do. Here's the thing, though, man. You don't see these female changes in the men playing. Trying to say, I think I can play in the NBA. Well, I'm thinking I can play in the NFL. You don't see that.
Funny part about
it. Because the powers that be will never allow that to happen. But ultimately, what goes on with the LGBT community is that, like y'all alluded to, everybody pretty much, it was a general consensus on the fact that you can't really criticize them. And I'll give you a perfect example. Look at this latest situation with Ben Simmons. I don't know if y'all heard about this or not, but apparently some transgender accused him of hitting her from the back or him from the back, however you want to classify it. And it was all lies. It was found out to be a lie. But
it was
you can't just come out and criticize this person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? Like, and it's a lot of situations that happen.
They made a fake account and everything, deleted it.
Made a fake account and all that, like just to try to get some clout. And that's somebody that's directly affiliated with the LGBT community. But you won't see them come out.
You know what that tells me right there? The fact that the thing is, that just tells me right there, it's still not normalized yet. Like the fact that you can go out and you can.
Hell no! What the
put something on somebody's name like that? Like nobody wants to be affiliated with that if you're not if you're not openly gay or if you're not openly associating yourself with transgenders. People still look at it like it's awkward. It's not right. And
they feel awkward about it. That what it showed. You right, Lamont, because if you didn't feel awkward about it, you wouldn't feel like you was putting that person out. You
it's not
me?
like you
But
put
you felt
nobody
like
out about nothing. Yeah, like
yeah,
that's how
it's
you
just some
know.
regular joint.
That's how you know something ain't right with it.
But it's a chemical, that chemical imbalance, man. But it's all good, you know. Everything happened for a reason,
Just a side
man.
note here, Kelly Oubre is destroying Dallas
Yeah,
right now.
he dropping 40 on him right now. I ain't gonna lie.
He dropped 30. He dropped 32 in the first 3 quarters. So
Yeah, you know you got to pack it up, down. You got to drop 40 on you.
Kelly Oubre got 40 right now.
That nigga
I mean, I'm saying he
Told
not
y'all
winning.
Warriors
He
is
just
going to the
be breaking
playoffs.
jump shots.
He be
Hold on,
trying to
the Warriors
kill
got
something. He be
140 on
trying
the
to yam
Warriors
out something every game.
they 40 on them. They didn't
Look at his shot chart. Look at his shot chart. He's 13 and 19, 6 and 8 from 3-point land.
That man Toscano Anderson balling.
I told y'all. I said if Oubre find his game, it's gonna get ugly. If he find his game, like y'all, people saw him playing at the beginning of the year. That's not how he play normally. When he playing confident like he was last year, that man is nice. And look at the Portland. Portland, everybody is out, and they smacking Philly by 20. They smacking Philly by 20 with G League players.
And beat up
Lamont, your boy got 22 too.
The other Warriors.
Melo.
Oh, Melo, yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, put it like this, y'all. Look at everybody's little farewell tour. D Wade, all these guys, they all had certain games. But are you gonna trust them in a 7-game series against the Lakers?
No.
Okay.
Melo.
Let's not trust Melo. I stopped trusting Melo in the 7-game series.
Give him the ball. He's gonna get to
I stopped trusting Melo in the 7.
He may turn up. This is last hurrah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I trust Melo coming off the bench though, bro. Give me like, you know what I'm saying? Like Melo can come off the bench and give you some buckets now.
I stopped trusting Melo when he was in the Knicks. When he was on the Knicks, I stopped trusting Melo in the 7-game series.
Melo
was a superstar with the Knicks.
Melo can
I trust him in the 7-game series.
Melo can come off the bench and get 12 to 15.
Yeah.
You can trust that.
But I can get a 2, 3 year, 4 year vet to come do that for me if I grab the right one who's much younger and is actually gonna also play.
Like, he ain't like come out, not no Rondo or something, man. Like that's the thing, bro. He ain't like no Rondo. He's Rondo, like Rondo. He could come. He's a person. He a role player come off the bench, but he's an impactful player. You know, what
Rondo
I mean?
different, bro. Cause he can have 0 points and 9 assists that change the whole game. You feel me? Like just coming out the bench, like that shit different.
Man, the Warriors.
Right about that.
The Warriors.
Right about that.
The Warriors
beat the brakes off Dallas.
The Warriors destroyed the Mavs out of center, but they played.
Yeah, they ain't do that against Boston though. But you know what I mean, we gonna
Boston just lost to the Kings.
Y'all just lost. Chill out, bro. Y'all let a rookie.
It was a back-to-back game. It was a back. We just
whatever. That rookie was smart though.
You know what I mean? Woo.
That rookie was smart, bro. Halliburton was smart on that last play, bro.
Man, listen, man, we missing like 2 players right now.
Everybody missing 2 players. I don't want to hear.
Yes, sir. We can't afford. Now we're missing 3. Matter of fact, Kimber not playing back to back right now. Marcus Smart hurt. 8 Miles hurt. You know what I mean? B Rabbit.
I mean, I ain't saying
told you about them Nets, though.
Playoffs and nothing true. Y'all just lost to the Kings. It's okay.
And true, you should be complaining because you could be a Heat fan where we ain't got nobody right now. So I don't even want to hear that.
I you know what? I gotta be grateful.
When y'all get somebody come back.
Hey, true to King.
Hey, somebody. Oh, go ahead.
The Celtics should trade for Carmelo. All right, let me talk about
Carmelo, I ain't gonna hold you though. I wouldn't mind that, man.
I said your mic cut off.
I wouldn't mind that.
Trade
you know what?
Trade for Melo.
We need to trade. We need to trade. I know we need to trade for it though.
Who?
It's 2 people in mind. If we use that trade exception.
Miles Turner.
Nah. It ain't Miles Turner. It's a wing. 2 wings.
I mean, you gonna say
it? I mean, we just played it. We just played them.
Y'all don't need no more wings.
Hey, man.
I need a point.
We got decent bigs.
Hey, what do
It can
y'all
be
think
upgraded.
about what do y'all think about
You already have two great wings, bro.
what do y'all think about LaMelo Ball finally starting? How do you think he's looked since he
He
started?
been balling, man.
He been
I
balling.
mean,
Yeah, he doing this.
rookie,
He doing the
rookie of the
same
year,
thing. Balling.
rookie of the
Yeah.
year.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Lamont.
Hey, to me, Lamont, it seems like the only person who really messed with Melo heavy is Miles Bridges, though. And they seem like they always playing hard.
That's a
That's what it
fact.
look like to me. It don't seem
It
like
look
none
like
of the other
Miles
people
Bridges come alive with that boy, man. Like it's like they
Gordon
come
Hayward,
alive when they on there
man. I
together.
think Gordon
That's
Hayward
for
messed with him. You know what I mean? He the best.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward, yeah, him. That's it. But I don't think like
look at the
Rozier, Graham.
Nah, Rozier like playing with him. Graham like
Hold
playing
on,
with
y'all.
him.
Let's go one at a time, y'all, because I'm having a hard time.
if y'all look at LaMelo's numbers, though, I mean, he's putting up solid numbers, but those turnovers are still too high. He had 6 turnovers yesterday.
Hey, see, yeah, I think it's gonna get better though, cause he young and he gonna learn. He gotta learn.
He gotta keep growing. Yeah, he gotta keep growing.
I mean, they got a winning record when he playing a lot of minutes. When he playing like over 29 minutes, they're like.
Well, I'm talking about. See, the thing is, this is what I look at. See, I'm looking at it like this, because obviously to put LaMelo in the starting lineup, one of those other two guards either got to get traded or go to the bench.
Rozier gonna
More than likely is going to be Terry Rozier, because you cannot move Devontae Graham right now. He's only getting paid $1.6 million. And so unless you're willing to give him away for nothing, which they're not, it has to be Terry Rozier that either goes to the bench, which we know because of his ego, he's not going to be cool with that, or you're going to have to trade him. So trading him is probably your best option. But now we see what they look like when Terry Rozier is not in the starting lineup.
And then Lamont,
the last 2 games, it ain't it ain't look so pretty.
Yeah, I think,
without Terry Rozier.
I think if you look at what they're looking at for their future, I think they probably will see if a Graham and LaMelo backcourt can work for their future, just because of LaMelo's size. He can guard 2s. But I don't think they'll be able to trade Terry Rozier into the offseason because he's an expiring contract after next season. But I'm not sure there's a team that'll take him on right now, unless a team like Detroit, for example, comes up and says, hey, we want Terry Rozier with Killian Hayes out.
That wouldn't be a bad fit for him.
I don't think Detroit will get him, though. I mean,
I think the Hornets need to get another big though.
They're not in the upward direction. They're just. I mean, I don't think it would be smart for Detroit to get him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not really a deal out there for him right now, but that's why they probably won't trade him until the offseason. Because the team will take him on in the offseason as an expiring contract if they're trying.
So what he get? He getting 15 a year, right? He getting like 15 M's a year or something like that.
15, 20 around there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see no team.
I know. The Bulls need to go get the other ball brother though, because we need a point. We need a playmaker, bro. We need a point guard.
God playmaker.
Kobe
White. Know what y'all doing.
Kobe White not ready yet, bro. He be making. They be having Zach.
Saturansky, man.
I don't like Saturansky.
As I told all Bulls fans, all Bulls fans, Kobe White is not a real point guard. He's a 2.
I said that too.
He was a 2 guard in North Carolina.
Yes, I literally just made a video about it. I said him and Zach play more comfortable off the ball, and then I don't really want Zach to run a point because his shot selection is terrible. I ain't gonna lie, he hit him, but his shot selection is terrible, bro. That last game we lost, he took a bad 3 at the end of the game, and then we had Denzel Valentine.
Yo, do I got an echo?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Making crucial decisions.
SB, you did a video about the Bulls.
Yeah, I just did one on the Bulls did trade for Lonzo.
And SB, they saying
check it out. Might be crazy. Yeah, that might be crazy right there.
Yeah, I think one trade they had, they said Saturansky and like 2 second-round picks. I say if they accept that, do that in a heartbeat, bro.
And see, the thing is, you got to make it work for both teams. They don't need Saturansky.
Yeah.
And they don't need I think the other big that you were saying, because they got Steven Adams and they got Jackson Hayes.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So the trade got to really make sense for both teams. This is why I don't see him going to the Bulls, because I don't know what pieces the Bulls have other than Lauri Markkanen that might fit in with what they're trying to
Polo
do.
got big con. Or the Polo got like a decent size. He got a.
But his salary too high because
they got everything that make him think they're going to the playoffs.
Hey, Lamar.
We gonna make the playoffs.
Hey,
I don't think the Bulls should trade nobody.
Hey, Lamar, what do you think?
What
do you think of Jaren Jackson Jr.? I know he has to play.
He's nice. He's a good player when he's healthy, but he's been out. So, I mean, Him and John Morant look really good together when they're healthy. But
I didn't know he grew to 7 feet.
He grew to 7 feet.
Yeah. He's 7 feet now.
Yeah, I like Jared Jackson.
Yeah, he was like barely
Triple J.
Yeah, he was like
6'10" when he came in.
Yeah, he was like barely 6'10" when he got drafted. He's a little over 7 feet now.
I remember him at Michigan State. He was like 6'10". Michigan State was my favorite team. I knew he would be good. He just had all the skills.
Hey, when I saw him at Michigan State, I thought he was trash because Purdue ran right through them.
No, I watched a bunch of games.
He always just someone for Purdue, man.
Hey, I'm just saying. I just saw it.
I watched a bunch of games at Michigan State. So I can tell you how good he was. I think Izzo kind of didn't use him as much as he could have.
Just like we just ran.
It feels so though. You can see it.
Yeah,
Which player y'all talking about?
Yeah, I think when he comes back, I don't know when he's coming back.
Talking about Denzel Valentine's trash ass. I don't know how that.
Hell no! Don't bring him up.
I don't know when Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming back. Maybe next month, but man, he is.
He just not his biggest problem. He got to work on stop fouling so much.
Hey, CA3, I know you like Michigan State. I like Michigan State too. What you think of Rocket Watch? Who over there at Michigan State right now?
I mean, the problem is that Rocket Watch, he's undersized and he's a 2, and he really doesn't really have the skill set to be a point guard, and that's a problem. I think that's why he's kind of struggling right now because Izzo, he wants him to be a point guard, but he can't be a point guard. And Izzo's constantly pulling him and stuff, and it's really hurting his confidence. And that's why I've seen his play go down. So,
hey, I got a question for you real quick. What y'all think Dallas needs to do? Because they're underachieving. What y'all think they need to do?
They need to.
Luka need to start enforcing some shit, man. Everybody's talking about how good he is.
Yeah, find a real superstar.
No, here's the problem, y'all.
They need to hurry
not
up.
win. If you look at the scouting report, any scouting report that you see with Luka on it, they don't label him as a point guard. It says ball dominant shooting guard.
Yeah.
Every scouting report I've seen, that's how they label him. They don't even look at him as a real point guard. So he's dominating the ball. He's not even though we fall for it and we see him get a lot of assists, he's not really a great playmaker. He's not making Porzingis any better.
Porzingis ain't making himself better. Boy, 7'4" won't get under the basket.
As a big, you have to have guards that can get you the ball in the right position. And Luka's really ball dominant, and he's not getting the ball to a lot of guys in the right position. This is why you see Tim Hardaway Jr. One game he'll have 25 points, the next game he'll have 6.
I mean, and his shot selection is bad too.
His shot selection is bad. He's a terrible shooter.
Risky.
Like he's below average from 3-point land. Like I don't know what's so hard to figure this out.
But don't get me wrong, though. Luka's a great player, but I just don't. He's just not the type of player that can.
He's not a real floor general like I said, man.
Hey, panel.
We have the needle, though. That's the problem.
I have a question about what Lamont just said in reference to Luka being labeled as a ball dominant player. So, one, I think Kristaps has the talent to average 25 plus, maybe 25 to 30, number one. But number two, Lamont and panel, should Luka be moved to shooting guard and the Mavericks try to find a point guard in the draft next year?
I mean, he's still going to dominate the ball.
No, because he's still going to have the ball.
I'm about to say he usually is the 2 guard though. That's the thing. He just always got the
shot. He'd be at the 3.
So he don't really move well without the ball. Like if you watch him without the ball, he's just stand there. Like this dude took 20 shots tonight. Porzingis only took 16.
Well, that's why I broached the question, because the way he plays, as Lamont stated, he doesn't really play like a point guard. So Lamont, that's why I broached the question: to the Mavs draft the point guard and then move him to the 2.
So Lee, I'll answer that. I think if they draft a guard, they draft a point guard, they have to draft a guard who's going to be okay being off the ball from time to time, because Luka's going to have the ball in his hand. So you can't play him with a traditional point guard who's got to have the ball in his hands all the time. And in my opinion, I don't think he's a 2. I think he's a 3. Defensively, I don't think he has the lateral quickness to play the 2. So I think he's more of a 3 just because of his size. And then, and again, my biggest issue with Dallas is we don't really have a secondary playmaker out there with him. They're using him a lot as a playmaker when, like Lamont said, that's not really what he does. His assistance is make you think he is, but he's not really a playmaker for other guys like that.
And Trey Burke,
I think they need better shooters.
And-
When
and-
they had Seth Curry, they was cool.
and
He opened the floor for everybody, but I think they
Yeah, but
need
they didn't
better
have no
3-point shooters.
defense, though.
They were defensive. They were terrible.
They still haven't
now.
addressed the defensive problems.
Speaking of
Like you look at the score tonight, Golden State scored 147 points tonight. Like Dallas still has one of the worst defensive teams in the league, just like they had last year.
And
The same problems.
Khalil, speaking of playmakers, a good buddy of mine plays on the Mavericks, Trey Burke. I mean, someone who's a very good player. I don't know why he doesn't get a lot of minutes either.
Hey,
Lamar,
I want to take
I
Hey,
rock with
Lamar, I
Trey
got a
Burke.
question for you, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
So with you being like deep in the basketball analysis doing stuff, do you think the Ignite program really gonna make a difference in the change of how everything is? Is it really gonna change the scale, or you think it's just still gonna?
Yeah, it's gonna make a difference because one, they basically stole the idea from LeVar Ball. It's basically the JBA. I'm not joking. They took LeVar Ball's idea and they said we gonna do it better because they have the money and the receipt. Nobody got behind LeVar Ball and said this is a great idea. We're gonna back you financially. They all just laughed at him. Now the NBA's doing it. People put money behind it, and now they're paying these guys $500,000 to participate in these programs. And obviously, it's just a select guys. Everybody's not eligible for it. But if you're a top guy coming out of high school and you want to bypass college, you can go join this. What it does is it keeps you here in the U.S. so you don't have people like LaMelo going over to Australia. All right, because the thing is they didn't like LaMelo going to Australia because scouts weren't able to get over there a lot to really see him in person.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it was only limited, and he only played 11 games before he got hurt. Same with RJ Hampton. So they want to be able to see you, they want to be able to evaluate you, and they understand that some of these guys are going to say, we don't care about college. They're going to accept money. They're going to lose their amateur status intentionally because they know they have all these other options elsewhere. So, I mean, might as well keep them here in the U.S. And then groom them yourself. And I think it's going to help a lot of these guys because a lot of these guys come from inner city poverty. They can spend a year getting used to adjusting to that lifestyle and understanding how to handle money for a whole year. And then it'll also give NBA teams to see how these dudes are going to react when they get a little bit of money in their pocket too. Mm-hmm. And that's what you can never really judge or evaluate when you draft a guy. So I think you can get a better evaluation of some of these guys.
Right. Nah, it's a beautiful situation, honestly.
Yep.
It's a good
hey, what's
joint,
good with
bro.
y'all, man?
What's good? See here, I didn't get your thoughts on the topic of the show with the transgender in sports and what do you think about that?
It's sad, bro. I remember one night, man, me and my wife was sitting in the bed. First of all, salute Lamont. I want to get on here, man. I had to take a break from some of this work. I'm working on this paper, man, for class, but I seen you live, so I had to get on here, man, for a little bit. But man,
hey CJ, see here, what you majoring in, bro? My bad. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm majoring in biology or science. I'm gonna be a physician, bro. I'm studying to be a doctor, so.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, no, I mean, I was saying that because I'm in school for business science, so.
Yeah. Then I minor in business because I want to have a minor in management because I want to have my own practice. That's later on down the line, but yeah, that's what we do more than just throw balls and shoot balls. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Salute you, Steve.
Yeah. So that's why that's why I told you when I was talking to you on the phone. That's why I ain't been on here, bro. I just been busy with this homework. But getting back to the topic, it's sad, bro. I mean, I got two boys, man, and I remember sitting in the bed one night with my wife watching some of that stuff, and we were like, man, what do we bring our kids into, man? It's just, now we can play make believe. Now, you can wake up and feel like you a woman and go play a woman sport, bro. Like, it's sad, bro. We live in a sick, twisted world, bro. Like, I mean, it really break my heart, bro, to see some of the stuff that's going on, some of the stuff that's allowed. Like 10 years ago, man, you couldn't have told me that, you know what I'm saying, we would be having this work. And like y'all brothers were saying, you can't even say nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't even speak out and just say, okay, if you do that, that's you, but I don't agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yep, or you're gonna get canceled.
Yep. Yeah, because and then hold on, y'all. I want to ask a real question.
Yeah.
Because I think people play on words like phobia. The root word phobia means what? Fear, right?
Yeah.
So when they call
Mhm.
us homophobic, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't scared of no man walking. Just because I disagree with you, that don't mean that they try to use that word and
Yeah, I don't
play on
believe
that
that
word.
word.
Because phobia means fear, and I guarantee you, I ain't met none of y'all brothers in real life, but I'm pretty sure y'all don't fear nobody. So just because we don't agree with you, that don't mean that, you know what I'm saying, you like brother just said, you gonna counsel us and all that. Hey man, Nick can counsel me. I ain't tripping. My sons will tell you, I got a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and my boys will tell you, man, we don't play with mama clothes. We don't play with dog. I tell them it's a difference between us and your mama. You know, and that's just what
Right.
it is. I don't care who like it. You know, if you got kids or you got niece and nephew, man, we got to be men. I'm not finna cower down because they trying to push this stuff on us, man.
Preach, C Hill.
They not finna push
Right.
it on me, bro. They not finna
Well,
push
no,
it
they
on
call
me.
it phobia, C Hill, because back then, like I studied a little psychology in high school. It's a
Right,
book called the DSM, which is
right,
a psychology book, and they
right.
took the homosexuality out of the book because they deemed it as a condition at first, like as a mental condition.
Yeah, it was a mental
So
condition at
that's why
first,
they,
It was
right?
mental
that's
illness.
what they labeled it as. So that's why they call it a phobia, because a lot of people was like scared of that because you had the whole AIDS epidemic and
Right,
stuff
right.
like
But
that
they still
jumping on.
playing
So
on that
that's
word,
why they called
Kenfo.
it that.
You
Yeah, no,
see
I
what I'm
agree with
saying,
you,
bro? They
but
playing on
I'm
that
just
word.
giving you the
And
background on
I'm
why
gonna
they
be
call it
honest with y'all, man.
homosexual.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and y'all can take it how y'all want to. But I'm just gonna tell you what God love. Hey man, ain't no man supposed to be up behind you like no woman. I'm sorry, bro. You ain't supposed to be.
I
You know
agree.
that's an attack on your manhood, dog. Ain't nobody supposed to be grabbing your cheeks, kissing the two big old rascal size 13 foot. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
What's going on here,
But
man?
check it though. This just the beginning, man. The door just opening.
That's
The
what I'm
door
saying, and
slowly creeping
that's what I'm
open.
saying.
It ain't
We got
open all the
some
way
young.
yet, bro. Like
Hey, I agree with that, Kinfo. Whoever just said that, I agree. That's what I'm saying. We got to put up some kind of resistance. Like I seen some y'all, it broke my heart, bro, about a year or two ago. They in preschool. I didn't even know that they had a pledge of allegiance, bro. At like not a pep rally, but in school when they call all the students together and they have stuff in the auditorium and things like that. So they had the LGBTQ community come out to the school, bro, and
I
they
saw
had
that.
them
Yeah.
doing the pledge of allegiance to their flag, bro.
Oh nah.
I'm like, what is? I said, where's the parents? Where the men at? And then I seen another thing. I showed my wife where they had drag. This is how I know that they pushing this on our children, man. They had drag queens reading
Yep.
children's stories to
They sure
pre-K
did.
and kindergarten. I said,
They
what
sure
does
did.
that have to do? These kids can't even spell a name, and you trying to push this on them, man?
Mhm. And they were over here, C Hill, and they were over here saying that one transgender woman saying it's
That's
okay
a
to
man,
be
man. I'm
different.
not doing that. No, that's a
Exactly. The
man,
man.
dog. I'm
Exactly.
not doing that. Y'all can play make believe. Hey,
Man.
man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I don't mean to cut you off. Hey, man, I can't wake up in the morning and say I feel like I'm Warren Buffett. Now let me on this 747, 757. I
Right.
can't do that. See, we can't play make believe because now you leaving Pandora's box open. And I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen, and y'all gonna think of me when this happens. Now, when they passed that law for them to get married, what was the theme? They said love conquers all, right? We can't tell people how to love. Now it's a group out called Mambler. They on the rise. It's called Men Loving Boys. Y'all need to check this group out.
Oh
And
I know what you're talking
what
about. I know
they
what you're talking
saying
about,
is,
Phil.
C
what
Hill,
they
please tell me
saying
this thing.
is, and what they saying is, and how Ken folks said this just the beginning, he absolutely right. What they saying is, if you can't confine my love to the same sex, there's no way you can't tell me that I can't love little children. See, that's where it's going,
Yeah,
bro.
that's what's gonna open
That's
yeah,
the
where
door
It's
it's
for
already
it.
a
going, bro.
gender. They're
And
already a
and
gender
and,
for it. I
and,
forgot what it's
and
fact.
if
called.
Damn, that's
y'all
Yeah.
dangerous,
want to
Yeah,
cuz.
fact.
And that's
if,
what the
if y'all
problem. Yeah,
want to be cowards, and if y'all don't want to stand, because I'm gonna stand with the real brothers, man. I'm gonna stand with the real folks that ain't finna just lay down and take this laying down. If y'all want to be cowards, man, that's y'all. If y'all want to stand up, man, like Lamont,
yeah.
I appreciate you having this stream, bro, so we can have some
Hey,
people on here that's like-minded. that ain't going for the bull cone, man. Because it really makes me, it really upsets me when I see this, bro. I'm gonna say this last time. I'm gonna let y'all brothers go.
Real quick, CEO.
Hold on, real quick. Y'all remember that cartoon Arthur? We grew up on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when have you ever known Arthur to do anything as far as marrying people or being with each other or anything like that? Hey man, they had an episode last year and they had kickback on it of Mr. Ratburn getting married to a man. Don't tell me they not trying to push this on our kids, bro.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
And
I'm not going for it. Y'all want to be cowards? Be cowards. I'm
Hey,
not
in the next Marvel movie that's coming out, 2 of the superheroes are gonna be, they're gonna be like married to each other.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Y'all
be cowards if you want to.
See here,
I'm not a coward. I don't know how y'all was raised.
Hey, see here, I definitely respect a lot of. I respect a lot of things that you're saying because see, like you got a boy. I got another baby on the way. I'm gonna find out if it's a boy or a girl.
God bless you, bro. I'm praying for you.
But I got a little girl at home, and like I don't play that like that pedophilia stuff. People be doing that attacking little girls because I'm letting you know now.
I'm telling
anybody
you, bro,
ever touch, it's gonna be, and you gonna see me on the news. Somebody touch that little girl. It's
Hold on,
hold
on. Let me play this clip for y'all real quick because I pulled it up. I want everybody to check this out before we continue on.
It's sad, bro. It's sad.
Yeah,
it's sad, bro.
Because I hate that they push it on you.
Here we go, right here.
Y'all brothers stop being cowards, man.
Make sure y'all mute y'all mic so everybody can hear this because I want everybody to hear this. Again, this is the direction that we kind of going with some of this stuff. And this explains a lot right here.
Feels like you're reducing people just to their genitals. You're kind of objectifying them, but you're thinking of them more as genitals than objects. So I guess you're kind of genitalifying them.
Is that Chad?
Was extremely attractive, had a great personality, but didn't have the genitals that you wanted. You might be surprised to find that it isn't a deal breaker.
To you. It's not a deal breaker to you.
And the way that we talk about potentially dating trans people has a lot in common with the way we discuss other preferences. Saying that you're not attracted to fat people isn't innate. It's informed by a society that tells you that being thin is ideal.
No! Listen, there is an evolutionary basis in finding people that are physically fit.
Hey, C-Hill.
Yeah, Alva preach. Y'all be watching this.
Now y'all see that.
That was wild, cuz.
Y'all see that, man?
Hey, what threw me off?
Do y'all see that, man?
Hey, what threw me off? I'm like,
do y'all
hold on,
see
we gotta go one at a
about?
time, y'all. We gotta go one at a time.
What threw me off, bro? As soon as Buddy got to talking, I'm yo. I was like, yo, his voice deeper than mine.
Hey, C-Hill.
Go ahead, man. Y'all brothers stop being cowards, man. Y'all got to push back against this, man.
No, I don't like that they pushing it like if you gonna do your thing, but you
right. But don't push it on my child. Don't push it on me.
Hey, Hill, let me ask you a question, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that one group that you said that's on the rise. Man, I'm over here shaking my head, man. Please tell me that ain't true.
Bro, go look him up. They call Mambla. It's called Men Loving Boys.
Yeah, it's true.
I wouldn't say, man,
it's
one thing
gender.
about me, if you ain't never talked to me, I don't be on here capping and all. I'm telling you the real, man.
I'm just saying it as a say it ain't so, because man,
that's so, bro. That's so.
Yeah,
I knew we was headed down that direction when they started.
Lamont, go look it up, Lamont.
No, I already know.
There's videos of it. There's videos of.
I've always said this. I was like, what's going to stop people from saying that they identify as being a 10-year-old boy?
Come on, man.
Mentally, they feel like it's a 10-year-old boy. And that's going to excuse some of those actions and behaviors. See, they open the door up for a lot of this stuff. And the main thing is you open up this door for this stuff, but you don't have a really way of monitoring it or making sure people ain't pump faking you on it. That's the thing. Like people can say all this.
You just talk about the prison situation.
I see it now. See here, it's called North American Man/Boy Love Association.
That's sad, bro.
But Lamont, C-Hill made a point earlier. And I think
that really break my heart, bro. That's sad, dog.
Hold on, let Shine Webb go real quick. Go ahead, Shine.
No, C-Hill made a point earlier, and this is where we have to get back to. The greatest, most impactful unit that we still have is the family.
Yes.
What he talked about is doing what he does with his family. that's what we have to get stronger in. What's happening in society is going to happen. And the only thing we can do is make sure that the people in our house understand what's real and what's not. And again, it goes back to, what he said. He said, listen, my sons don't go in my closet and me and my wife closet and put on their mama clothes.
No,
That's
sir.
that's not how we roll. So, and again, but they understand because he's there and he's showing them this is what you are. If you are a mini version of me, you're going to do what I do. So you can go ahead and put on my shoes and my hats and you can walk around and act like me, but you're not going to walk around and act like your mama because you're not your mama.
You're most definitely not doing that.
That's what we have to get back to. And that's where I think we've gotten lost is the families got to start having greater impact, on people coming up because we don't have that like we used to. And that's the sad part.
Can I say this, y'all? Because this has to be said. There's a natural order that, and I don't care what you believe, I'm just talking about me, that God has set for us to. It's natural for a man and a woman to coexist with one another. That's the natural order. It doesn't take it doesn't take no effort. You know what I mean? For a man to seamlessly fit along with a woman. It's logical sense. That's logical. That's not hate speech. That's not nothing. You can only have babies with a man and a woman unless you do the sterile thing. But I'm talking about naturally. Natural. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between us and our wives and our whatever you got. I'm married, so that's why I always say wives. It's a difference between us, man. My wife brings some stuff to the table that I don't. I bring stuff to the table that she don't. You see what I'm saying? And we can't upset that order. You know what I mean? We can't do it, bro. Because when you do it, you got stuff like this. When you try to say a woman can do everything a man can do, no, she cannot. I don't care what nobody say. No, she can't. And it's vice versa. We can't do everything a woman can do.
Yeah, but you gotta understand. You speak of the Most High, like he also gave everybody free choice. So you gotta respect if people want to do what they do. You gotta respect it, but at the same,
they can do whatever they want to. I said,
hey, but check
don't
it.
get
What
mad
I
at me
told,
for pushing back.
Hey, yeah, you good. But see, this the thing. This the thing right here. I said it earlier in the show before you got here.
Mm-hmm.
We in a battle, bro. Yes, we battle the flesh, but we also battle the evil, bro. Just because, it's good people out, good spirits out here. Cause I ain't calling nobody good or bad. I'm not the judge, but it's good spirits out here. It's good events happening. You got to know the other side out here too at work, bro. So I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like that's why I say the door was just open, and it's just the beginning, bro. It's just the beginning, bro.
Oh, what's up, anti-social?
What's happening? Hey, bro, y'all better be careful with this topic, though.
No, we fine.
Well, I'm just saying
because it's the way you can talk about everything. See, again, we not disrespecting nobody.
But you know, with that community, bro, like let's say on down the line, you know what I'm saying? You probably start dealing with certain people, and they'll pull this shit back up, and they be like, "Oh, when you up here talking about this, I'm telling you, bro, like." Man, this shit can affect you, dog.
What's good, Kenfo? What's good, man?
I
ain't talking.
Hey, the title, the show wouldn't be the name of the show if we didn't address it. FYF Sports, you got to forget your feelings.
And that's
the name of the show. It's not about you.
Lamont, I salute you for having the cojones. Because
I'm telling you, a lot of people
even scared to.
He not lying though.
Touch it at all, bro.
No,
but what I'm saying,
a lot of people won't touch this.
Hold on, but this is what I'm saying. It's just. This topic is not about
now than I had before, and I already respect you. But just by you sitting up doing this, let me know that you a man of principle and moral, and you not know, yes sir, you not know, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You got to see my thing. My whole principle of this is not to act like I'm not acting like I'm just coming out for or against anything. My thing is this right here. In regards to sports, if we are going to start allowing this, because obviously, Biden already signed off on the law. It's going to start happening. How is it going to affect women's sports? I'm saying, is it going to eradicate women's sports? Is women's sports now going to become populated with transgender men, and there's no longer biological women playing? There's going to be a whole bunch of biological men, which in reality would really be a semi-pro men's league.
Correct.
Because it's not going to be really, it's not going to really be women, like, because, and as we gave multiple examples of men who jumped immediately into women's sports and not even worked half as hard as some of the women who've already have been there, and they're breaking all the records. They're outperforming these women,
Right.
and that's just how our bodies are built, especially with sports. And most sports are physical activities. Now, when we're talking about maybe golf, where I think golf can still affect women because you have to be able to drive the ball farther than a man.
Right.
But if you're on the same golf course, I mean, I can see how that's more of a skill-based game. Same with some other sports that are more skill-based. So
nah, it doesn't matter, man. Golf, women golfers not fucking with the top men golfers, but they don't have the distance.
They not.
It's just like there's no women that's fucking with the top men in the sport because they're way stronger and they can hit the ball way harder, bro. It's not in the competition, bro.
Yeah, but CA, to that point, the only world where this should matter is in sport, because we do understand there's a decided disadvantage between men and women. But what happens when in a couple years it's an NBA player who can't make an NBA roster anymore, decides, you know what, I can't make an NBA roster anymore, so I'm going to play with my name used to be Tank. Now I want my name to be Tina, and I'm gonna go try out for the WNBA. So
I think. Hey,
Sean,
you just hit that on the head with that, though. I think that's what they need to draw the line on, because, like,
exactly.
All right, I understand. Like, if somebody born that way, you can't fall how you born. It was a mishap, but you can't just wake up one day and say, "Yeah, I feel like this," and then just go. You know what I'm saying? Just change yourself. That's not.
That's what
SB.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what they're allowing right now because there's no way to moderate.
Okay, so Lamont, what I want you to do, Lamont, I want you to wake up tomorrow and say you are a rich white man by the name of Bill Gates, and I want you
the Atlanta episode.
I want you to pull up to all his establishment and walk in the door like you own the place, and see if they don't handcuff you and bring you out and say you crazy.
See Hill, they did an episode of Atlanta in the first season of
that was hilarious.
Where it was like this black kid was having transracial identity. If y'all
talking about
you gotta go watch it.
Yo, that dude. Hey, yo, that was hilarious.
It was crazy.
There's people like that for real, though.
But it's people like that for real.
Was he serious? I seen one of them that was serious.
Yeah.
Was he
serious? Sports, though. This is what I see. I'm trying to come at a different angle.
Yeah, I see where you come.
There are so many things that are financially driven. See, just like you guys were just saying, if there's an NBA player or you have a professional player that's struggling, can't make it in the NBA, how do we know that certain sports agents aren't going to incentivize them to say, hey, if you do this, if you're willing to risk it all, and if you want to get your career back on track, maybe you can do this and just pretend. But you can pretend for a couple of years and it'll get you millions of dollars in your pocket, not just from the sport, but marketing dollars. We saw how when Bruce Jenner made his transition, overnight he got millions of dollars in
that man won Woman of the Year, y'all. Think about that.
But I'm saying it's becoming profitable. It's becoming profitable to make this transition if you're bold enough to do it. I'm saying we've seen some men now do that, but they're not having the surgery. They're not making the full transition. How do we know? How do we know that you're not going to see this happen in the Olympics, in other sports where there's real high competitive? People want to win. People want the money. People want the fame. How do you know people aren't just going to be able to hit that switch and say, "Look, you can't argue with what I'm saying. You have to say yes to it because this is how I said I feel, and you can't do nothing about it." There's no way to moderate it. And
see that right there, Lamont. That's the thing, dude. Ain't no way to moderate it because people are scared of these people, dog. Because the minute you say something about them, bro, them people got more influence than Black Lives Matter, dog. Just let that sink in.
They cancel culture real.
Well, Black Lives Matter
way
don't really
more.
have any.
They gotta
say something about
I'm about to say.
Like, it's over with for the person whoever criticized something about
it. Go through your Twitter feed from 8 years.
Hold on. There ain't no cancel culture, nigga. That's them.
Them folks do got money. You can't deny that all them like they got that money behind them, bro.
Y'all gotta go one at a time, y'all. One at a time.
Hey, Lamont, anti in the panel. This is my question, though, bro.
True. Bro, you say anything wrong about them people, dog.
I ain't saying nothing wrong. I'm talking facts.
I want you to answer me this, though, too, Lamont. You can chime in and everybody else on the panel. do you think the higher ups are really pushing the narrative? Because like you just said, Bruce, well, Kalen, whatever, the Jenner dude made a lot of money out there. So you think the up top people are really pushing the narrative because they making
Yes,
money
but
off
you
of
know
it?
why? No, it ain't even about the money, dog. It's because they enjoy doing it. They probably most of them probably doing drag and all that, dog. Just doing it on the low.
Exactly. You got to understand
Most of your higher ups, all these people in Hollywood, all these people that got money and all that, all of them is messing with them people, dog. You know what I'm saying? So
and
it
they're
ain't even
part of the
about money
other
with them.
side, bro. It's the other
Exactly.
side at play right now, bro. You got to understand, bro. I know you can see the flesh, but it's other principles at play right now, bro. Like it's deeper than what, my nigga. Like honestly, like look with your spiritual eyes, bro. I ain't gonna get too deep on it, but
Look at what they did to Boosie, dog. When Boosie talked about the Dwayne Wade situation with his kid,
Oh
they
yeah, Mike
killed that
Tyson was
dude,
on his
bro.
head.
They killed that nigga for that, dog. Oh, I was saying, bro, y'all gotta be careful with this topic, bro. Like these
It's not about
motherfuckers
being.
gotta be. You don't gotta
Y'all
be
gotta
careful no
understand.
topic, man. See, that's what you don't gotta be careful. No, we ain't disrespecting
Nah,
nobody on here.
that's the thank you, True the King. The main thing
Like,
is
I don't.
we're not coming on here. We're not using a
Lamont,
whole bunch
I
of.
understand what you're
Yeah,
saying,
nah,
bro. But
Lamont,
what I'm
that's not
saying
right,
is,
bro. They don't care, bro.
I get what you're
At
saying,
the
but
end of the
fact,
day, the conversation needs to be had. The conversation is this, because my thing is, and again, this is a question. This is why I said I even went to LBGT groups and posted my video in those groups because I wanted some of them to come in here and I literally posted my video in some of those groups on Facebook because I want them to come in. I want to know if you really feel this way, how do you moderate it to determine the people that are faking it from the people that are really feeling this way? Because I honestly believe there are some people out there that really may feel this way. I mean, again, do you if it makes you happy. But what I'm saying is there are going to be people who take advantage of it. People are going to take advantage of it to get access to kids' bathrooms or women's bathrooms or men's bathrooms to sexually violate people. And then the one thing you have to, one thing that a lot of people in the gay and trans community don't like to accept is that there is a very, very high presence of sexual molestation amongst kids within that community. It happens at a much higher rate for whatever reason. And so when you look at that, when you see that, the potential for that to happen is at a much higher rate. What barriers are you going to put up to protect people from faking so they can get access or easier access to like sexually attack or do whatever to like little kids or other people who could be victims? And that's the thing, like that the moderation of it is what confuses me. Like we can't just keep running around saying you feel this way because you don't let people play those games when it's time to go to jail. And when it's time to go to jail, if you're man, you're going to men's prison. If you're woman, you're going to women's jail.
Right.
And again, now there are some states that are fluctuating, allowing you to do certain things, but they're not making it easy for you just to say I feel a certain way. I'm sure you got to apply and do this. And if I get locked up today, if I say I feel like a woman, send me to women's prison, they're gonna laugh at me and take me to the men's prison. They're not gonna respect what I'm saying.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the problem right there. How do you moderate it? And how come you forcing sports and high school sports to change, but you're not forcing government administrations to change anything? I want to know why you're being selective with what you're enforcing this with and what you're not trying to enforce it with.
Well, Vermont, they're doing that with high school sports because of Title IX. So that's what basically allows them to do it. If you're a high school program or you're a statewide program, high school regulated program, and you get federal funding, they can enforce Title IX on you. So that's why we're seeing it there first.
Yeah, and if you played like D1 or D2 sports, they make you study all those Title IXs, especially if you're a male athlete. Yep. You have to take we had to take like a 3-week course on learning Title IX and there's discrimination on certain things and they can't discriminate against you with any federally approved programs and all this craziness. So yeah, you are right about that. But like I said, I just think with this whole situation, as y'all see in the thumbnail, you have a 50-year-old man or transgender man participating in women's athletics. And it just looks out of place. It doesn't it can't sit well with a lot of people. As much as you say you want to accept people making their own choices, what is it
Hey,
Look at
Lamont.
the
It's gonna
teammates in the
take for you
photo.
guys to
They
say
don't look
like it's gonna
comfortable.
take somebody getting
Lamont.
hurt. It's
Hey,
gonna
Lamont,
take
did you
somebody
finish
Lamont.
downloading that tool? Did you finish downloading that video?
Nah, it's actually because it's the full game, so it's still downloading.
Lamont. Lamont.
Bro, like,
Go in the comment section and highlight what this dude said. He said it seems y'all are going to the further extreme that a heterosexual man is going to label himself transsexual just to play in a woman's league. This isn't a serious
Who said
discussion.
that? Who said that?
Dude named
Bruh,
Fast
if it
Family
come with
Affair.
a couple $1 million, it's gonna be some more Joanna mans out here, bro.
Yo, I
Believe
said
me.
he's
And he
missing.
gonna
He's
go
missing it,
home
bro.
and be with his
Money
Because
family.
what
He
we
got a
saying.
wife,
Hold on.
kids, and
Hey,
all.
I'm gonna
Like,
put it
come
like
on,
this.
dog.
I know from where I grew up in Indianapolis, I knew people. I knew people who would kill you for $2,000. So it don't put it past me that people would try to make a few million off faking
Hey
like they are
man,
transgender for a
shoot,
few years.
people, you don't know what people do
Yeah,
bipolar.
Come on,
bro.
They
let's
doing
stop.
it.
Let's stop the nonsense because especially
Yeah,
with black
man.
people, I've seen black people do dumber stuff for less money, for far
For
less
less
money.
money, Lamont. You
Come
right,
on,
bro.
let's
But hey,
not
let
act
me.
like that. Let's not act like we ain't seen it before.
Yeah, people sell
Hey,
their
can I
soul
say
for
one
less, man.
thing?
We ain't doing that, man.
Hey, you right too, true. Hey, I'm about to say something, bro, before I slide. I gotta charge my phone and shit. But all I'm gonna say to y'all, man, blessing on blessing, man. Keep staying strong. And my motto, anything that go against God, bro, the most high, I'm not going with it, bro. You feel me? So that's how
I'm
I
all
play.
the
That's
way
my
down
stance,
with you, Ken
bro.
folk.
You
I'm
feel me?
riding with you.
If it go
I'm on
against the
you all
most
night.
high, I ain't rocking with it, bro.
I'm
You
not.
feel me?
I'm not one of these cowards, man. I'm riding with you on that, bro. Because it is an
Facts.
order,
I'm
whether people like it or not. And like Ken folk said, yes, you can do what you want to do. I'm not telling you what you grown. You do what you want to do. But when it comes to pushing it on the next generation, and you trying
that
to
ain't
tell
right.
4-year-old kids to label themselves and they barely know how to spell their name, yeah, I'm gonna stand up. Y'all ain't got to. I'm riding with you. I'm riding with you, homeboy.
Oh, hey,
That's a fact, bro.
fast
Blessing
family
on
affair.
blessing.
Hit the link. Come in. I want to know your opinion on this
I'm
because
saying that straight man isn't
hold
gonna
on,
label
fast family
himself.
affair here. I'm gonna drop the link for you
That's the
because I
goal.
really want to hear what you got on this. And again, we have to jump to the extreme because
We talk
get
about
closer and
extreme
closer to it.
now. We talking
Yeah,
about
it's extreme
extreme
now.
now.
Yeah, I
What are you
never
saying?
thought. I never
That's
thought I would
extreme.
see two transgender boys in a women's track race blowing every woman's track record out the door. I never thought I would see that. That's extreme.
That's extreme.
What's even funnier is that these two same high school boys, when they were freshmen and they ran as boys, they were very average at track. But then just like he said here, he says, why would they switch? Well, these two boys switched over and now they're dominating in their sport, getting a
So
lot
they
of.
know, baby. They know they get an advantage. Stop. Like, come, we gotta stop.
I mean, I
playing
don't know.
games,
I don't
man.
want to say what they're doing is not genuine because it might be. But at the end of the day, it's other people looking at this that will potentially look at it as a way to capitalize off of it and maybe get some fame and money. There will be people who try to.
Yeah.
Like I know, like what we see in the movies. There are so-called straight actors who will literally kiss and act like they're having sex with a man in a movie for money.
Come on,
That's fact.
man. Talk about it.
Look at dude in The Wire, old boy in The Wire. What wasn't he? He was the hardest gangster in the movie, and then they show sex scenes. Yeah, Omar. They show sex scenes. Yeah, they show.
But
sex
he came out to say that he's bisexual though in real life.
Saw the dude with the scar on his face, right?
Yeah, he said he's bisexual in real life.
He's bisexual, bro. He gay.
Yeah, he's bisexual in real life.
Watching The Wire today, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's bisexual in real life, dog. Hold up now. Nah, because they interviewed
watching.
him and he was like, when I did this, bro, I had to really like search into myself and like, cause I was getting a hard on and all that when I was doing my
You don't gotta
takes and
explain
all
the
that
whole
with
story.
these
You don't
men.
gotta explain that.
But nah, I'm just saying facts, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, cause I was surprised. I'm like, bro, I didn't even know you was openly gay, dog. So like, I was like, all right, to each his own, bro. Like, all right, you Omar is for real, for real.
Hold on, we got Bees back in here. Bees, what's good?
What's up, man? Y'all still talking about that?
What's up, B?
Oh yeah, now we gonna be in wrapping it up soon.
Hey, what's good, Bees? What's good?
What's up, C Hill? Yeah,
It's sad,
no,
man. You know, it's
huh?
sad, man. People won't even stand for what's right no more, man. You know,
Nah,
sad.
see here, it ain't about not standing for it. People
It's
just
sad,
scared, bro.
Nobody's scared, man.
Oh,
Listen, man.
Just
Nobody
cause
scared.
just cause you
Lamont, you
not
know what's
scared.
crazy for me? Lamont, you know what's crazy to me? These the same niggas that always be on here talking about pull up, and they gonna do this and they gonna do that. But then when something real come, you cowed and tuck your tail, man, I lose respect for y'all, man. From niggas like that. Man. I lose. Now you a fight a nigga at the drop of a hat, but you can't say what's wrong and what's right. Man, get out my face, man.
Because they feel like it don't bother. It feel like it's not
Who's
affecting.
ducking? Hold up, see here. Who's ducking?
Nah, bro. I'm not.
Who's
man,
ducking? You stand on what you
anti-
stand on. That's cool. But if I'm a nigga, I said, dog, I'm not trying to touch that shit because I don't want the backlash.
No, it's right. We ain't
I'm not
disrespecting
touching
nobody
this shit.
though. That's a
Nigga,
fact. We ain't disrespecting
hold
nobody.
on. True.
He not lying though.
Hold up, true. How sensitive the people is?
I don't
They
care
would
how you
take it
say
as
it.
disrespect, dog.
Anti said that. See, Anti said that people scared to talk about it.
They are. That's facts, dog.
Hold on. Anti. No, I think the people that are scared to talk about it are black people. See, I'm gonna prove it to you right here. I got a clip for you. This is a Republican congressman. All right, they're interrogating the nominee. They're interrogating Biden's educational nominee to be the justice of education for the United States, and they're asking them these same questions because they feel like a lot of you guys do. But I'm gonna pull it up on the screen and I'm gonna show you because again, there's people who will come out there and say it. Again, it's just you got to open your mouth and actually say something. But there's ways to talk about it without offending people. Let me share this screen real quick.
Right.
So I can show this for you. Hold on, real quick. Let me get this going. All right, here it is, right here. Let me play this for you.
What do you think in general about boys running in girls' track meets like they've been doing in Connecticut?
I think that it's critically important that education systems and educators respect the rights of all students, including students who are transgender, and that they are afforded the opportunities that every other student has to participate in extracurricular activity.
Does it bother you that like the top 20% of boys running in track meets beat all of the girls in the state, and that it, would be, completely destroy girls' athletics? The girls are being pushed out. They don't make the finals in the state. They don't get college scholarships. That it's really detrimental to girls' sports. Do you worry about having boys running girls' track meets?
I recognize and appreciate the concern and the frustrations that are expressed. As Commissioner of Education, have had conversations with families who have felt the way you just described it, and families of students who are transgender. So I understand that this is a challenge. I look forward to working with you and others to.
Do you think it's fair to have boys running in the girls' track meet?
I think it's appropriate I think it's the legal responsibility of schools to provide opportunities for students to participate in activities, and this includes students who are transgender.
So you don't have a problem then with boys running in the girls' track meet, swimming meets, name it. You're okay then with boys competing with girls?
Respectfully, Senator, I think I answered the question. I believe schools should offer the opportunity for students to engage in extracurricular activities, even if they're transgender. I think that's their right.
All right. Well, a lot of us think that that's bizarre, not very fair. I come from a family that has a lot of girls who have competed in college athletics, have been state champions, and frankly, some boy that's 6'2" competing against my 5'4" niece doesn't sound very fair. I think most people in the country think it's bizarre, that it's just completely bizarre and unfair that people, and you're going to run the Department of Education, you've got no problem with it. That concerns me. And I think this kind of thing is going to lead to really just the vast majority of America just wondering, who are these people that think it's okay? From what planet are you from? I mean, to think it's okay that boys would compete with girls in a track meet, that somehow would be fair. I wonder where feminists are on this. I wonder where the people who supported women's sports are on this. I mean, we all going to be okay with hulking 6'4" guys, wrestling against girls, it just makes no sense whatsoever. And so I think
that dude was preaching.
See, and that's what I'm saying right there.
This
is the exact same conversation that we're having. This is the funny thing about it. Let me say one thing, because this is the funny thing. This is a Republican, Senator Rand Paul. He's a Republican, and you got a lot of black people out there saying vote Democrat. And see, while we over here just voting randomly for Democrats that we don't know what they stand for, that what y'all actually stand for is something that he stands for, but y'all wouldn't dare vote for him because he's Republican. See, this is why we got to start thinking for ourselves. This is what I mean. Do your own research, and maybe you will find that these people got more in common with you than you actually know. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to run out here and vote for this guy as soon as I get a chance to. But what I'm saying is, again, if y'all feel this way about what he's saying, if you feel this passionately about it, these are the people that you need to be putting your political dollars behind, and you need to be supporting these guys to get what you want done. Otherwise, the Democrats or the people that are pushing this agenda are going to take over and get what they want done. And see, another thing, we can sit here and talk about it and complain about it. There's only one way to get something done. This man is having the same conversation on C-SPAN, nationally televised. He's saying the same things that we're saying, but antisocials telling me don't talk about it because I need to be worried about getting canceled. Come on, y'all. Makes no sense.
Hold on, wait, Lamar. I don't think he's telling you not to talk about. I think he just said like tread carefully with what you say.
No, I'm not going to tread carefully. It's FYF Sports. FYF Sports. Forget your feelings. We not going to disrespect you. See, we've been doing good. We don't disrespect people. We're not going to talk about your mama and do none of that stuff. We're not going to call you. We ain't use no gay slurs or anything this whole show. We're talking about the situation just like Senator Rand Paul is doing. Why can't we talk about it, but he can't? Come on, let's stop.
We speaking on facts and opinions.
Man,
Okay?
hey, you peeped how old dude didn't even want to touch that question, dog.
No, dude, because dude has
that nigga didn't even know how to cook.
Like
he danced exactly. He danced around. That nigga didn't even want
He's
to
dancing
touch that
around
question,
it because
man.
Joe Biden is the one that put him. That Joe Biden elected him. He's the nominee for Joe Biden. Joe Biden just signed the transgender bill. So why would he say something against the man that just put him in this spot to even be
money game, man?
as a Department of Education?
The people that don't want to talk about these topics get paid by these same people.
Why
that
do
don't
you think he's going to come right out and go against the policy that Joe Biden supports? No, that's how politics works. For him to get this position, he has to shut his mouth on certain things, whether he agrees or not. And this is one of the topics. We don't know how he truly feels about it. But if he wants to be the Department of Justice and Education, then he has to shut his mouth and dodge all of these questions. That's what he has to do.
That man was playing dodgeball out there, wasn't he?
The real. Now go ahead, Sean.
With the dodgeball champion back in the day.
Now I feel like the real question is like, okay, we talking about a lot of sports, but now like, what floodgate this gonna open? That's like, what I think C Hill was just talking about that. Like, what? That's the real problem. That's what I'm worried about. I ain't even like sports. Like, come on, man. Like dude said, you got to be fair about it. But I'm more worried about like the bigger pictures. Like, what do you guys think this could open a floodgate up to?
Hey, I'll answer that.
Go ahead, Beast.
This is what equality gets you. This some of our own people. We asked to be equal. Well, what Joe Biden I'm gonna say is, if we make you equal, we're gonna make all y'all the same. Because that's why they always put this gay stuff in. Notice how it always hijacks our movement. It always gets infiltrated in what black people are asking for.
Joe Biden piggyback on black. Joe Biden piggyback on the black community, and then it's on. You know what I mean?
Joe Biden will say anything to get a vote. Honestly, to me, whatever you want to.
Yeah, but he piggybacked over black people.
Let me ask you a question, and I want you to be honest.
I got you.
What if someone asked you, well, if we don't want to give these dudes rights, why should we give you rights, black man? See, they done used our own social request against us to keep us where we are.
Yep.
That's really what this is.
Right. And just as a reminder, when they initially started the Montgomery bus boycott, they weren't asking for equal rights. They were asking for a modified system of segregation. That wasn't their initial intent, was not to fight segregation.
Right.
No, you're right. But that's the Trump card, right? Because now, hey, what did the motherfuckers say to LeBron and shit with the China stuff? Injustice anywhere is still injustice. Right? This whole movement has infiltrated our communities. It's way bigger than we actually think.
Facts.
Yeah.
Hey, but hold up. Hey, to the king.
Stop
I'm here.
yourself up with everybody.
Hey, I understand what y'all saying about Joe Biden, dog, but don't blame Joe Biden, bro. You know who got the ball rolling on this shit, right?
Barack Obama. What you saying?
Exactly, nigga. Exactly.
I
Barack
already
did
talked
more
about
for gay
Obama
people.
earlier.
Barack did more for gay people than he did for black people. Nigga.
You ain't
So we
saying
gonna
nothing
talk
new.
about
I don't know that.
Fuck with his ass.
But hold on, but he didn't do nothing but cater to the base that.
But he started it.
No, hold on. What I'm saying is politicians cater to the people that put money in their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do we do to fix that? Start like we got to play the political
Stop
game.
supporting them. Stop supporting these people.
No, we don't support anybody. We
Yeah,
got to
right. Yeah, you're right.
Done politically, you got to play the political game. It's a game. It's a money game.
Lamont,
I think
what we do is we make social requests.
Thank you.
Exactly. Raise our hands and shit. We raise our hands. That's what we do. We raise our hand and wait for our turn, and then like they treat us how they want to treat us.
And they take whatever, like Beasley said, they just take what we do and just run it back against us.
Yeah, because all of this shit falls into the category of beating yourself up with everybody else. This is why I don't like to use the term minorities and stuff like that. That's why you don't use those terms, because shit like this happened, and who benefits?
Everybody else.
Situation is non-black.
And Khalil, I'm gonna say this, bro. I'm glad you said that, because every time I talk to people who use the term minority, I said, stop calling yourself that. There ain't nothing minor about you, me, or any other person of color. We are black. Be black. Don't call yourself a minority. If you stop calling yourself a minority, they have to stop calling you that. And I'm quick to correct somebody who calls me a minority, because I'll tell you, ain't nothing minor about me, bro. Let's get that right.
To me, I'm looking at the big picture, bro. It's sad that in America, bro, it's like if you're looking at the landscape of things, bro, it's easy to be gay in America, but it's hard to be black.
Right,
and that's sad, dog.
Yeah, because because the difference is that you can play down being gay. You can act more masculine if you're an effeminate gay man, but we can't act less black.
You just black.
I explained this to somebody the other day in the training I was doing. I said, if you're Jewish, you can change your last name and people won't even know you're Jewish. I can't change my skin color. I don't care how much Michael Jackson tried. You can't change your skin color.
Nah, but
Sammy Sosa might have though.
Yeah, Sammy went too far. Hey, Sammy definitely went too far.
Yeah, motherfucker goes crazy.
Hey, look! Did you see the video of his wife? Did you see the video of his wife saying he looks perfectly normal to me?
Got money, that bank account.
Nigga look like Lil Kim before Lil Kim look like Lil Kim.
But this is something that this is an issue that happens throughout the world, because when you go to these other third world countries, the leading cosmetic product is skin bleaching cream and the cosmetics.
Yeah.
Because the European standard of beauty is what's like interrupted so many minds across the world. It's people that's darker than everybody on this line that'll swear up and down that they not black. And you get a lot of these Hispanics who don't realize that Hispanic is not a race. It's more of a barrier construct than a race. You got white Hispanics and you got black Hispanics. So you got people that go to Africa and look at the leading cosmetic product over there. It's skin bleaching.
Crazy. Jamaica,
like everywhere you go.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? So
even I just like what Weston just said in the comments. Tyshawn, he was like, is it time to really get rid of that label? Even be a college just saying black, like it's just saying I'm black, because it is kind of like just a color. But
we gotta realize we all the same. We gotta realize we the same. We the people. Like, man, we just need to know who we. Right.
I mean, I think, you know what, SB.
But I mean, like, even like my thing is that, hold on, I just got in here. So I mean, but regardless if we call ourselves black, melanoid, or whatever you want to call it, oppression is still gonna be there. So that ain't gonna change shit.
We gotta know who we are, man.
But that's the whole point. It's like we gotta start. No, wait, hey, True just hit it on the head, bro. We gotta know who we are. That's the only way we're gonna start to change. When we gotta know, we gotta build our culture. We the only culture who don't have one.
But just because I just got in here, so like my whole opinion on this, I mean, it's like I feel like, and I'm not trying to put my feelings out there. I'm just like it just when you look on TV, it seems like they're trying to promote this LGBT agenda towards the black community. Like how you said, like Lamont, he said they'll make sure like they put black transgender, but they don't put white transgender. What they doing there is like they playing a black card when it's convenient. That's what they doing. So because like you have like certain transgenders, they'll be like, oh, black men, they display toxic masculinity, they against gays, they against all this and that. But they'll use their black card whenever it's convenient. And I just felt like, I mean, y'all basically said how I feel the whole time. I mean, like it wouldn't be fair. You got like imagine if LeBron would to put on a dress and be a woman and play in the NBA like that. WNBA. That shit wouldn't be fair. So
he'll average 80. He'll average 80 in the WNBA. Bro.
And it's like what do you like, what do we?
But you know what, LeBron. This is the thing. People will support LeBron doing it not because they're cool with it, but because of the money.
I say he did wear a dress though. We ain't forget that.
If it's gonna, it has to move money. Once it starts moving money, that's when we're really gonna see the true colors of this whole movement.
And I feel like this too, because it's like I think with the NFL, it's like we could boycott the NFL. Well, I'll put it like this, right? When it comes to like the transgenders, right? Like they run a lot of these industries. The Jews, they run a lot of these industries. So if they feel like they want to compete in sports, why not create their own league? They got the capital to do it.
Hey, it's nothing more than a diversion tactic, guys.
Yeah,
that's all it is, right? Yeah. So this is what our government does. They come up with things like abortion, things like transgender. Now, every American's gonna pick a side on this, right? And they're gonna be emotionally invested to this topic and go back and forth. And the next Republican president, he'll come in and undo it. But in the meantime, whatever their agenda is, you don't even see them actually do it because they gave you something to worry about over here. They gave you something to keep you busy.
And I feel like when it comes to like, and look, I'm not me personally, like I don't really believe in voting. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm not Biden or I'm not for Trump. But one thing with Trump is like I feel like, especially like a lot of our people, a lot of black people, we starting to open our eyes and see like what's really going on.
Do you believe in donating to people's political campaigns?
I believe.
No.
Hold on.
Let me say you don't vote.
Hold on.
You ain't gonna get nothing done. It don't surprise me that we don't get shit done, y'all.
Hold on. Let me rephrase what I said. I don't believe in voting for the Democrats because the Republicans is bad. I don't believe in voting for the Republicans because I believe in voting for people who are like they represent our best interests. That's what
it's not that simple because you could do all the voting you want, but if you don't put money in these people's pocket to make them accountable for some of the policies they actually make,
that's facts. But the point, what I'm trying to say is that like with Trump, I feel like a lot of our people they started to open their eyes more. Whereas with Joe Biden, it's like they just gonna go back to having cookouts, barbecues, eating chicken, like cause they just gonna let the Democrats do it, and they don't even know that the Democrats like they low key.
Hey Dale, hey, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Why so many of our people turned on Ice Cube?
You said
I don't know why.
Because like I said.
I know exactly why.
Because we've been programmed to think that the Democrats they for us. When Lyndon B. Johnson he said on his own mouth.
No, you know what the Democrats is for.
Go ahead.
No, the reason why I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Because what you alluded to earlier, when you put the work in our hands. Black people don't want to work. For the majority of us, we just want shit handed to us. We don't actually want to go out into those fields and mine those crops and do all that shit on our own. We want them to do it, and then we'll just reap benefits from their work. We don't want to build shit from scratch. Like we want everything to be handed to us and done for us. And as far as what SB talked about a couple seconds ago, where he said black people don't have no culture, like black people do have culture. We just have a culture of not appreciating shit that we do. And you look at every house appliance, you look at all forms of music, all forms of everything. Black people has invented it. We just don't appreciate shit. So we'll give it to them or let them take it and then build some more shit and create a new sound.
And
like, so we do have a culture. American culture is black culture.
Just to piggyback off of what Khalil said, like in the beginning when you said like we don't want to work, you know what it is? It's instant gratification. Like we just want to just start today and just expect it to change tomorrow. When it's like no, like things going to get better or like it's going to change over time. You got to put in the effort, you got to put in the time. But a lot of people they don't want to do that.
Yeah, but hey, can I respond to Khalil? Hey, only problem that we have, like I know that America, people that tell you that America was built off our back, but they stole it, they took everything from us. We don't have a name, so even if we had this coach, like you said, what is the name of it?
Well,
we don't have nothing from it. Like it's like it's like the Puerto Rican
It's America, bro.
Yeah. That's like I had you do my back work, but say of like I build my channel up and you've been doing the whole back work, and as soon as it get big, I just take it and just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. But we know, everybody know, like, oh yeah, Khalil really did it, but it's just like they ain't gonna get nobody the respect average they deserve because I got what I needed from you. Now I'm the man. You know, and that's just how the game was back then. We know everything.
Right.
And
hey, but you know what? But when B said the thing about when y'all were talking about black, I think Sean said it too. We expect too many handouts. The unfortunate reality of it is I've seen it firsthand. When I was hooping in Chicago at Chicago State, I was dating a girl in Cal City.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally met her whole family, from her cousins to her mom to her sister. And you have a whole family of people who all moved to Indiana temporarily to get Section 8 just to move back to Chicago. Now they have Section 8 to get free housing. And they literally live in poverty for years and years and years on end just to keep Section 8 housing for years and years and years on end. And I said, what is this? Like, y'all literally, like, they look like their life goal was to get Section 8 housing.
Hey, Lamont, two things. I'm glad you just said that. Hey,
if you're in Chicago, you know that waiting list in Chicago is like 8 years long.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You gotta move out to get it and come back.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Hold on, wait, Lamont. Hold on, wait before you go to that. I got two things. One for Lamont and one for Bees. And Lamont, I'm glad I'm gonna pick it up with what Lamont said. Lamont, when was you at Chicago State? Because you know I went there. Was it like I was there for like 2011 to like 13, 14. Was you there around that time?
No, I was there. I was there from 08, 11, 12.
I might have ran into if he was at that 11, 12. You know, I was a man up there, but that was a different. I wasn't SB. It was somebody else up there. But Bees, Bees, because it's crazy that Lamont Bees. Because I called Bees on somebody's show, and I joined because I seen the Bees like something like Weezy or something, and they was trying to kill Russell Wilson because they talking about, man, he ain't real, he don't understand. Imagine dude was saying spot out. I'm like, bro, I'm from Chicago. Yeah, I'm like, bro, I'm from Chicago in the hood. In my opinion, bro, if you from the hood, bro, and you let your kids grow up in that, or if you was a street dude, I'm gonna say more of it's like on the street. If you was a dude in the street and your son become a street dude, you a failure as a father, bro. And that's the problem that we had. The narrative trying to push that, bro. He not a real black person because he didn't grow up in the hood. No, his father was a successful man to not let his kid grow up in the hood. You got to start honoring that more. And that's what I'm trying to push. But you know, people be running their mouth and talking. That's the problem. I think Lamont, did you say this?
Hold on, that's not what he. But that's not what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about him being successful. He was talking about him cooning for the cameras.
No, he was yelling though. He was talking about like not going up from the hood. I know about that.
But I'm just telling you, he wasn't talking about the fact that he was a black man and he was successful or any of that. He was saying he a coon because when he get in that camera, he turned white. That's what
he do though. Russell Wilson do be doing.
I said, hold
on.
But Bees, but I said he is cross-bloody black.
I don't think there's a such thing as acting or being white.
Thank you.
No, he wasn't saying he was being white.
I get the context of what he's trying to say.
Now you correlate.
He's trying to say that he's like
things being right to being white.
Right. So
like,
if Lamont
here's somebody talking proper, you say he talking white.
Yeah, so Lamont, hold on, wait. So if Lamont was on here,
he's white. Like, come on, that's how fucked up our mentality is. No other culture. Asians.
Bees not saying that.
One at a time.
Go ahead, Bees. Go ahead, Bees.
How many times have you seen the cameras show Russell Wilson back in his community in Chicago, but you will see him in Seattle Hospital up here going and seeing the white kids with cancer?
But that don't mean just because it's not on camera don't mean that he's not doing it. People don't do stuff for the camera though. But you can't tell him he's not black because he's professional on camera. When the camera's on, he's a starting quarterback. He's his own business.
No.
Russell Wilson.
So again, you got what he do. Russell Wilson a coon, dog. I live here. I'm telling you, he a straight coon. Straight.
I mean, what makes him though? Like, give me.
I won't go that far to call it.
A lot of these
Bees ain't lying, man. Bees ain't lying.
But hold up, you weak like, bro. When y'all call me that, dog, y'all gotta have facts. Man.
A lot of times these hospitals will pay athletes to make appearances. These athletes aren't just willingly going up there just to volunteer their time.
But my point is that this is my point.
Yeah.
All right. We all men, right?
Yes.
Now, a white man, he can succeed, and he's not expected to give to his community, right? Not like the black man is. Most of the black men that we have in our community turn their backs on our community. So when you say he's doing the right thing is we got to teach young brothers and sisters that the way we going ain't the way. So when you see these brothers who's well educated, because Russell's well educated, he's well spoken for, and I don't got no problem with that brother. Other than, you know what? These are the people we look up to in our communities.
But bees, hold on, wait, bees. But you just hit it on the head when you said that though. Other celebrities don't look at them like they have to get back to the community. Tell me one white person that you know that just give back to his community, that you just know he go back to where he actually from. They don't crucify them like that. They don't crucify. I'm just saying though, when they don't do it, they don't get crucified.
You gotta put context on it because you gotta look at the social. You gotta look at
SB. They don't need to go back to their communities and do that.
Exactly.
Because their communities, whites have a lot of poor people. I don't act like for a second that everything is racist. What I do act is when some of these rappers, I won't buy none of their shit, man, because all they doing is stripping from my community, right? We need some well-spoken brothers like Russell Wilson to set the example. We need people like LeBron James setting the example. Those guys are our examples.
But B, I'm not disagreeing with you on those guys being examples, but I want to piggyback off something somebody said earlier. If Russell Wilson goes into a certain community, he's well spoken, he's speaking the way he speaks on camera, how many of those people in that community are going to say, well, Russell Wilson is a sellout, or Russell Wilson, he don't talk like us, so we can't relate to him?
Well, there's a lot of people that will say that right now because our community's fucked up, Sean. So that can't be an excuse. And somewhere we got to start changing that shit. We got to stop making excuses.
And by no means, go ahead, B.
No, we got to stop making excuses, and we got to start producing leaders, black men that are leaders.
Hey, Lamont said hold on, wait, Sean. Lamont said this one day about the Asian and Chinese. They applaud, and the people who are smart are the top dogs. They get way more respect. The people who are dumb, who think that they don't get no respect.
That's why they number one in economics.
Can I piggyback off of what SB and Lamont said? Because like Lamont, like he basically said like he went to college in Chicago, and like you had, I think he said it was your ex, like her girl, like they would leave Chicago and go to like Indiana because of Section 8. What's crazy is that I'm living in the DMV, like DC, Maryland, and VA, and gentrification going on heavy in DC. So you got a lot of people like coming to Maryland. Like you got PG County, then you got like Charles County, whereas PG County is the richest black county. And it's like, you know, certain pockets where, you know, they have Section 8, but mainly like the main places offering Section 8 in the DMV is like Charles County. And a lot of these communities, like it's historically it's like, you know, safe and all that, but and they got nice houses, but a lot of the people, they coming from the hoods in DC and they moving to like these good communities because they offering Section 8. And also, like, you know, I think, and I agree with what SB was saying, because even like I said, here in the DMV, you got like certain people in DC who would look down on certain people in like Maryland or VA and be like, oh, well, we got it out the mud, y'all spoiled, y'all this and that. why not why can't we promote generational wealth? How come we always got to promote people starting at the bottom every single time? Like, that's not the goal. Like, yes, I understand, you know, some people, you know, they struggle, you know, they gonna have to, yes, that's life. But at the same time, when you see another black man making it after he come from that bottom, and then he gives to his kids give to their kids, and they give to their kids, let's applaud that. Not everybody got to come from the hood or come from the bottom. Like, but hold on. Let me make my last point.
Hold on. But there ain't no difference between him or Obama.
Let me make my last point. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, when it comes to Russell Wilson, I get what people are trying to say. They're trying to say, you know, at first Russell Wilson, he's not from Chicago, he's from VA. That's one. But two, I get what y'all trying to say. You will have like certain athletes, you know, whenever they have like a side eye to like the black community, but like, let's say if they go in the other community, they like, you know, try to fit in. I think that's most of what they mean by like acting white, or like, but it shouldn't be called acting white. It should just be like, why you like, you should be yourself at all times, regardless of which community you go in.
I'm gonna give you an example.
Go ahead.
Kind of what you were saying. I'm gonna give you an example. This is how messed up our community is. Larsa Pippen cheats on Scottie Pippen with Future. Future got more clout from the black community for messing with Larsa Pippen, and we shame Scottie Pippen for his wife cheating.
And he had no control over that.
Hold on. I don't think they shame Scottie Pippen for his wife.
Yes, they did.
They shame Scottie Pippen for his wife cheating with him, and he stand with her. Put it in context. Let's keep it.
So how many women stay with dudes?
Don't do that.
Yeah, and let's keep it real, right? There's a difference between being urban and being black. Like Russell Wilson may not necessarily be urban in the traditional sense of what we define as urban.
Up, bro. Hold up. We are not giving this coon a pass.
Hold on.
Stop calling them. Let me finish. That's what's wrong with our community right now.
No.
That's what's wrong with our community right now.
Hold up.
Let Bees explain, man. Why is he a coon?
No problem saying it about Obama.
Yeah.
I never. Hold up. I didn't say. Hold up.
I didn't say that about Obama either.
Call Obama a coon.
You did not hear me call Obama no coon, fam.
Hold up, dog. He is.
That's wrong with our community right there.
No, we ain't gonna separate
No.
All right. To me, they ain't no different. They the same.
I want you to explain to me, Bees. No, I want Bees to really explain to me, like, why though? Why do you feel that way, Bees?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. What did Obama do? Obama ran on hope in the black community. He actually had people thinking he was going to make a change for them, that something was going to change for people in this country. Jobs were going to become available. They were going to be able to support their family.
They did, though.
Nothing.
I mean, but he came out like the worst president, though.
Look, bro,
you gotta take account of that. He fixed a lot of stuff.
Hold on.
Don't say like he didn't do nothing. That's why I hate when people do that.
That man ain't fixed nothing.
Wait, hold on.
Expected Obama to do more, and he didn't really do as much. But at the same time, that's part of what Lamont was trying to say. We can't just depend on somebody else to get in a position to do for us. Like, we gotta do for ourselves. Let's start with ourselves first. And I'm not.
Because
what Trump do? Everybody keeps saying what Trump do. What he do?
Let me piggyback off that right quick.
I'm not an Obama fan, and I'm saying.
Hold up.
Go ahead, Anton.
Let's stop. Why every time we gotta run to these athletes or somebody of higher orders, dog, to try to get some shit to happen in our community, dog? We gotta stop doing that shit, bro. Like, them people don't owe you nothing because they athletes, dog, or because they this and they that.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, go do it yourself, bro. Them people don't have nothing to do. Like, if LeBron James was to be if LeBron James was to be a dude and he never spoke on anything, dog, I won't call him a coon. The man just play basketball. Don't mean he's an idol or he have to speak on.
Let me make my point. What all you guys are saying, it's not that I don't disagree with you. It's just fictitious. It's pipe dream. When you say let's all just make it on our own. If you ain't watching what the hell is going on, the system is set up for you to be poor your whole life.
Right.
Very few of us have the opportunity to make generational wealth. And when the blacks that do make it, don't give back to the rest, the community, the village is dead. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on. I see what I agree with him.
Hold on, Janelle. We can all get on here and we can all pop off about generational wealth. As a matter of fact,
wouldn't that make Bert the biggest fool for putting $24 million diamond on his forehead?
I call those.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you can call him cool too. I mean,
about that dude Lamont, that dude being controlled by the Jewish influence in Hollywood.
I got a question, Bees. Though, why they don't crucify Eminem for not getting back to the trailer park or the little hood that he from? There, I haven't heard nobody never say nothing about Eminem.
SB, he white.
What that mean? It should be because he white. That don't mean nothing. He's the same.
That ain't my problem.
You think compare the struggles of white people in the trailer park to black people who've been oppressed over 400 years? Like, come on with that. You can't do that. That's like, come on.
I mean, y'all just said because somebody black, he has to go.
Let these finish his thought. Right?
When I was saying to you earlier, when you ask for equality, sometimes what you ask for comes with more strings than you want. When you want to be equal to somebody, they can turn around and say, make the homosexuals equal too, and make this person equal too. So when you come to me and you say, what about Eminem? I don't care about Eminem. Eminem's community ain't struggling. Eminem's community ain't where our community is. Eminem's community ain't set to have a negative net worth by 2050 like our community currently is. Hey, if we don't make some changes, like I said it on here before, we done.
Yeah.
And we can keep sitting around and talking about what we can do, but the truth is if you want anything in this society, you need money.
That's true. That's true.
The people and the brothers that make it and have the money, they gotta help us. Because the government ain't. I'm not talking about we want a handout. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that our brothers, the people we need to look up to, the brothers that are giving back to the communities, so that are starting businesses in black communities, that are doing productive things, showing the way to go. That's what I mean.
Can I just piggyback off of what B said? I just like, and look, I agree with everything he said, but I also look at this like this too, like, because people say that, okay, as black people, we rely on the athletes and like the people who make it to do for us, even though I do think that we should do for ourselves, but at the same time, it's like, you don't see any Hispanics or any Asians, they debating about whether they should give back to their community or not. We had Yao Ming, he used to donate almost his whole check back to China. You see Hispanics, they give back to their community all the time. It's only us as black people who we be like, oh, well, no, they ain't required to do this. They ain't required to do that. Like, we should all, like I say, I understand, like, yes, if you make it, that's on you. You can do whatever you want. But at the same time, our community, we do need help. And if kids look at like a person like LeBron or a rapper, they influenced by them, why not give back to the same community that put you in that position that you in right now today?
It's not so much giving back, because I think people, when you say giving back, people assume that to be a handout. What we need people in positions of power to do is to empower other people, and allow that cycle to continue. That's what we're not seeing.
Helping not necessarily giving out money out, man.
But one thing that I've seen a lot, though, I see a lot of athletes. The one thing that I do see a lot is I really do, and I've seen a lot of athletes try to empower family, friends, and people from their communities, and those people fail epically because all they want is the handouts. They don't want the opportunity. I've seen it happen a lot. I can talk about LeBron right now.
You saying LeBron? He put his friends. You saying like
no? What I'm saying was, I know a player right now. I don't want to put his business out there or his name, but he had to send his 2 brothers and about 4 of his close friends back home because they were just leeching off of him. He put them in opportunities. He put them around certain people. I mean, how you put them in a sit down dinner with the owner of PayPal, and they don't make something out of that opportunity. He's putting you in he's having you network with the right people, and all you're doing is going back home just leeching off of them. For 2 and 3 years, you just leeching. So I can understand where, again, it all comes back down to, we can empower people all we want, but if they don't have the mindset and the willingness to take advantage of it, it ain't gonna mean nothing.
And
Like,
I mean, you gotta choose the right people. You gotta choose the right people, man.
It goes back to
Everybody ain't
what we
gonna
talked
make it.
about in the beginning. Remember what we talked about in the beginning? We don't know the value of production. See, we only we don't know the value of buying land or producing on that land. We just know the value of cash. It all comes back to that. People don't know the value of networking. They don't know the value of stuff like that because they only appreciate, especially in our culture, our community, we only appreciate the hard cash. That's just, again, that's something we got to fix as a community.
Yeah, and Lamont, what I was saying in terms of empowerment, it's about empowering the right people. You can empower anybody, but you got to empower the right people. What LeBron did with Mav and with Rich and with Randy, he empowered the right people, but they had to go do work before he empowered them. He didn't just say, "Hey, I'm just give you this power." They had to go do other stuff before he empowered them.
And this is what I mean, Sean,
Yeah.
when I say how many black entrepreneurs are getting turned down from the banks every day because you're black? Because there is a systematic thing against keeping black people from being entrepreneurs.
Right.
So see, we have to find a way to get access to funds outside of the system.
Right.
Because as long as we try to do it in the system, we're going to continue to be shut down.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
So
you do that because you got to support each other. Like you can't just.
And I don't know the dude personally, but being that I live up here, I work with a gal that knows the dude personally. He ain't who who he acts like on camera. I'll just say that.
I mean, man. That man, he move funny, man. Listen, man. That's I call it how I see it.
It all go back to supporting one another. Support. Like what somebody said. I don't know which one of y'all said it earlier, but somebody alluded to the black community. We'll look at smart black people as like nerds and corny and all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to push your prominent, and you got to support your prominent. You got to have black people that open up dentists and hospitals and banks and grocery stores. And that money has to circulate within the black community at least 10 times before it leaves out of the community. Like, we our worst enemy because we support these Asians, we support these Arabics. Let me finish my point. We support all of these people before we support our own. But when you have a black-owned business open up in any other non-black area, these people don't support your business. I got cousins and my brother, like they got businesses, and none of these Asians or nobody else support that shit other than black people. So we got to get out of the habit of going to their stores for shit and start supporting our own shit and allow our own money to circulate. That's how we help each other. It's
I'm gonna tell you, Khalil, you 100%. You 100%.
And always asking discount.
Hey, Khalil, you 100% right now. I agree with you too. I'm gonna tell you like a point like this, bro. I'm starting to build up my channel because I was trying to get in the way with the sports way on through like radio, trying to get on ESPN, but all they hit you with is like, oh nah, bro, you just starting out. You ain't work or intern, but now you know you can't intern no more. So I started doing the YouTube. And I've met people on here through the show who supported and helped me more than people I shake hands with every day. I never seen none of y'all day in my life, and y'all support me more than people that I know who be my man, shaking my hand every day, who I'm talking to every day. And that's just how it be. And it
don't need to be your man, then, nigga.
No, they ain't, bro. I play that game. Look, bro, already, this is my man said, no, bro. And then another thing, too, I'm going to piggyback off what Khalil said, too. My man said like this, bro. You birds of a feather flock together. If you're not on what I'm on, I don't need to be around you, bro. There's nothing I can get from you. If you ain't on nothing, like 50 Cent had said this before the interview. If you see the dude in the hood that been on, his grandpa told him, what you going to learn from a dude who's still in the hood doing the same thing when you met him? You ain't going to learn nothing.
Hey, SB, I'm gonna subscribe to your channel right now. I I'm gonna subscribe right now. Go ahead.
Hey, but then Khalil too, off another point, I already got the game to trick my kids. Cause like obviously now is like the regular way telling them not gonna understand. I'm like, look, you want to be that dumb cool person now, or would you rather be smart, get yourself together, and be the man when you older, where you ain't in the rules of living in my house? You could be the man in school, in high school, you could be the girl up there, but I could say, you gonna punish me now. You ain't the man no more. Your phone gone, or you could be grown, live your own life, have cars, fancy, all this. in the future. Because like we telling them regular, like, look, being dumb ain't the answer. But like you said, we done tried this the same thing. So I guess what we got to do is play a trick. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to change the system, do something different. Because us telling our kids, like, bro, the gangbanger dude ain't the guy. They ain't listening. So, come on, we all been young before. How many times somebody told us so we young and we ain't listen? And we like, oh, then you was right.
And SB would always tell people, when you doing the kind of stuff that you're doing, or B, some of the stuff you talked about doing, when you come up with a product, find your purple cow. You better find your purple cow. You better find that thing that makes you stand out that nobody else is doing.
And appreciate it, because black people got this bad habit of not appreciating shit. This is why you can create an art form like rap and hip hop and have it go global, and then you get these Tekashi 6ix9ines and these Justin Biebers and all of these people that come into this rap form and use it all up and then assimilate themselves into what they really want to do. Like look at what's that one dude's name? He was a rapper and then he switched over, and like people like Pink and all these different artists that use rap to get in, don't put nobody on. And then Machine Gun Kelly is the latest example of this. He come in to assimilate rap, culture vulture rap, and now he in his lane where he wanted to be from the beginning. They use us as a prop to get them to go where they really want to go, and that's because we don't appreciate shit, and we don't hold our culture to the highest form. Like that shit never ever happen. You will never see a whole bunch of black people going over the country or whatever music and getting rich off of it and shaming it and then leaving and then going to something else. They would never allow that.
Here's our problem with us, though. See, like we said with the King Von situation, they look at it as like entertainment. We really be looking at this stuff like it's real. Like when we talk, when you hear these people talk about shooting it up, rob and steal, they don't look at it like it's an action movie. They look at it like, ooh, I really need to do this. Like 6ix9ine, when it really came down to it, he always knew that he was going to tell or snitch or do something silly like that because he knew it was just for entertainment. Like he knew it. Like he knew what time it was if like things really got dicey. Like I'm not about to, really go through this in real life. And the same thing with, if you want to say Machine Gun Kelly and all these other people, again, it's just entertainment. It's like I don't even believe in that culture vulture type thing because it's all just a form of entertainment. Go if you want to get your money that way, get your money that way. I don't have no problem with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
We kill each other over this.
I mean, it ain't really
I know, but like the point I'm trying to make, it is a form of entertainment. But the point that I'm trying to make is that they wouldn't allow. Like, look at this dude. What was that? What was the speaking of the LGBT? What was that? What's his name? Little Nas X, I think his name was. That went into country music and had that song. They got him the fuck up out of there because they like, you're not about to come into our life form.
But hold on, the country, that's our culture.
Anything. Like, we're not even about to give you I know that, but they took it over just like rock and roll and every other form.
Yeah, they kicked them off the country billboards. That's
predominantly.
No, hold on.
Like, that's the point that I'm trying to. Hold on, let me finish, fam. Let me finish.
My bad.
Like, that's the point that I'm trying to make, man. Like, we need to take pride in what we do, like, because they take pride in they shit. Just like when you got people like Cardi B who's went on record disrespecting black people and black culture, but still make millions of dollars off black culture that she didn't start and her people didn't start. So there's no way she should be able to disrespect our culture, our women, and still be able to thrive and make millions of dollars off our culture. That should never happen because no other group of people would allow you to do that.
That's we still pay for it. Like
that was my next point.
We paying for it. Yeah.
Hey, what does that say about our community that people can come fake gangster rap and get paid?
We get no respect, man. We talk about this like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? We get no respect, man.
I mean, you can't say you get no respect. You go get that check though. So
man, listen, we as a people don't get no respect. We the least respected people in the world.
I mean, the fact that a dude like 6ix9ine can come on the street and totally be not about that shit.
Man, we don't got no respect.
Hold on, but the fact that he can do that is fine.
And this man can break. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's just sad that he can do it. I mean, like he can break Instagram Live records just because he's talking gangster shit and he's making a fool of himself on the internet. Like,
hold on, the people that do it in real life are making a fool of themselves because they doing it for free.
Yeah. Right.
They doing it for free, taking all the risk. He faking it, making all the money in real life.
Yeah.
So who really looks stupid at the end of the day?
You got a point.
Oh, yeah.
So you really got 40-year-old gangbangers still gangbanging, acting acting like they tough, no snitching.
Talk, bro.
They broke in
Talk.
the hood. 6ix9ine got millions laughing at you, and they still ain't put a hand on that boy. Let's start with the fake.
Or George Zimmerman, bro.
That's what we be worried about. We be worried about the wrong thing. We got the wrong formula for success. Our formula for success is trash.
Get out the mud. We gotta get out the mud, Lamont. Lamont, we gotta get out the mud, Lamont.
You know how dudes say, like, they ain't touched 6ix9ine, they ain't touched George Zimmerman, they ain't touched the cop, Mike Brown, but they over here pointing guns at camera, came in there gangster and all that. Like, that's gangster.
Or not Rick. Nate Robinson got knocked out. Y'all was heat. Nate Robinson got knocked out.
Really
you know what I mean?
Zimmerman was in Atlanta. Zimmerman was in Atlanta down there getting drunk and getting pulled over for being intoxicated. Like, how the fuck is he not out of here already? Like, how? But you got black people out here killing each other, like, for nothing, for stepping on
somebody's shoes.
Yeah, you know what hit me, man. Like, my dad told me one day, one of his Indian friends told him, like, what's wrong with the black community? Why don't they take out the dudes that oppress them? Why you just let them stand and do nothing?
A lot of a new wave for black people. CA3. That's why, because back then, them black folks wasn't playing in the 50s and 60s and shit. They'd get out here and bust your ass. That's why you had groups like the Black Panthers and all of these different groups. They didn't play that shit. Once black people started, and see, this is what Martin Luther King started to talk about before his demise, was that he said a quote. See, white people like to always quote, "I'll have a dream" and all this shit by Martin Luther King, but they don't quote the fact that he said he led his people into a burning building because he realized once segregation happened, once integration happened, that pretty much took the mind state of black independence away, and it took our loyalty to each other away because everybody started thinking for themselves now. Like, back then, you was forced to fucking support each other's causes. You was forced to support each other because you knew you knew who the enemy was. Now black people don't know who the fucking enemy is. We think it's each other, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they programmed that in our head.
They exaggerated, and like white people, they made effort to exaggerate what Malcolm X said. All Malcolm X said was, "You gotta defend yourself if they
hands on you."
That man said, "By any means."
Yeah, that's a constitutional right. That's all. I mean, you got a right to bear arms. That's the second amendment in the Constitution, and you have a right to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's also in the Constitution. Like, black people just got it to where we look at all situations like the same one is not. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to know how to move strategically, and like I said, you have to support each other, man. Like, we got to get out of this habit of making other people rich that don't put nothing back into our communities. You look at all these black women. Black women lead the world in hair care products and shit, but don't own any of it. And it was all started from a black woman named Madam C.J. Walker. Like, they should be running that industry. Black men. We got a habit of buying tennis shoes and all this shit. Go start buying shit. Like, people laughing at Master P enough for trying to get Reebok, but that's a step in the right direction. Just like with Ball, with LeVar Ball, who tried to start his own. Hold on, let me finish, bro. Let me finish, man. LeVar Ball tried to start his own shit, and you had niggas out here laughing at him and criticizing him, and these sneakers look terrible and they garbage and this and that, where he was trying to show you how to do it generationally, just like when he started that league to bypass going overseas, play here, earn you some money. The NBA and all these people laughed at him and then instituted it in their own shit. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. Every time we try to do something groundbreaking, we got our own fucking people ridiculing us and telling us how stupid it is.
Until the idea gets stolen, and then the NBA stole up. Come on, man. Like I said, that was a good example because, like I said, I remember just maybe 6 months ago, I was on Ticket TV. I would get bashed every day for supporting LeVar Ball. You crazy? Oh, he did this.
I seen it.
I'd be like, and now look at him now. Like, now that all his ideas get stolen, come on, man.
Hey, Lamont.
Yeah, what up?
To piggyback on what you're saying, they actually do it. This topic here. See, this is not so much a black topic as much as it is a white topic. I mean, it's both, but this is them. This is how they get us to not see what real is. Topics like you got here today that causes confusion,
Mm.
and so when LeVar Ball goes and does what he does, the community as a whole don't get behind it.
Exactly.
So he ends up being.
Any of the brothers in here got channels? I'm sorry, Bees, I'll let you finish. Put your link in the channel. I just called as Bees. I subbed to him. I thought I was already subbed to you because I watched some of your videos. But I know True the King got one. And I think Sean got one. I think. Yeah, Sean got one. Well, just if you plan on starting a video or something, just put the link in there, and so brothers can follow y'all, man. Like it's support. Like it all starts with black men, man. We the leaders of the community. We can't allow our women to lead because when you allow women to lead, your shit gonna fail every fucking time. It starts with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go ahead and finish your point, brother.
No, I was just saying that it's smokescreen tactics that cause the confusion, and they've done it very well. Instead of us getting behind LeVar Ball, we criticize him, tear him down. So then here Lamani is one dude on 9 on Ticket Channel, but that's how our community is right now.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They're doing it to their own communities now, right? They're gonna tear everything down. That's all I'm trying to say. Is you right on the head?
Because Khalil, the reason why I said I'm glad you brought up your point because I was like, how we look at Hov. We need to look at Master P like how we look at Hov because everything he do is like about ownership. He's been talking about that.
Bro. It's all about ownership. For this person in here that's saying LeVar charging $500, you missing the whole point. Because when Gucci and all of these other brands come out and have these $700 to $800 sneakers, y'all never question why do they cost so fucking much. Y'all go out and get them because of the name. Y'all only do that when it's somebody black. He charged them shoes that high because it's a nostalgia. Okay, these shoes cost $500. It must be something exclusive about this brand or something like that. So let me fuck with this. Y'all don't never say that about Louis Vuitton and all these people that ain't put $1 into our community. But y'all to go out and spend all y'all stimulus checks and shit on that shit, but want to sit here and complain about LeVar Ball charging Mac. Get this dude out here.
The funny thing is, LeVar Ball came out and said all those shoes were collector's pieces.
Exactly.
Yep.
You don't run around and go hoop in them. They collector's pieces. And if you go look at what people are reselling them for on eBay, you will see why they collector's pieces.
And I look at it like this too. Like, it was some, like, I know people who, own clothing lines, and like, you got certain people that'd be like, well, they don't want to support a black business because, they use a gilded tee and they slap a logo on it. And my response to that is like, what do you think these other brands do? They all use these same vendors and they all do the same thing. But whenever it's our people, it's like, oh, well, what it is, like, it's jealousy. They don't want to see another person that look like us winning because they're going to be like, oh, well, it's jealousy at the end of the day. That's what it is.
But what's crazy on the flip side is, and I don't know if Vermont and Bees, y'all might remember when Stephon Marbury was still playing in the league, and he came out with his own shoes. And he was charging $14.95.
They were laughing at him.
And they were laughing at him. Yep. And his thing was, look at where I came from. I couldn't afford no $200 pair of Jordans. And they weren't bad shoes. They were just $14.95. And so people were signing people for wearing $15 shoes because they were $15.
Yep. And then Sean, it's crazy you say that because remember people was complaining that Jordan should drop the price of his shoes.
Exactly. So
it's
Word.
That's what I'm saying.
They made fun of Protege when Protege came on.
That don't matter if it costs $500 or $15.99. At the end of the day, it's jealousy. They don't want to see another black man or another black woman winning. They just want to see our people just in the same conditions forever and no elevation.
Yep, exactly. And look at all the cross colors. Look at Sean John. Look at Fubu. Like, look at all these black Carl Kanai. You wear some of this shit in this area, you'll get laughed at and scoffed at because we don't value shit. Like, Polo can last 100 years.
I'm 22. I got 2 pairs of Carl Kanais in my closet. I wear it. Nobody laughs, and I don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna tell you this. I was having a conversation with someone the other day about clothing lines, and I said, Puff, the smartest thing Puffy did was not tie his clothing line to his music. By calling it Sean John, he kept it separate from the music, and that's why it's still going today. Rockaware, all that stuff don't even exist today, but Sean John.
Or G Unit. Shout out Phil, though.
Yeah, but Polo can last 150 years and all of these other.
No, the only reason that's because that what it's called brand loyalty. See, we don't know how to build any brand loyalty. So we blow it to win. See, especially with black culture, as soon as we see the next most popping thing, we hop on that train. That's why the black culture changes every 5 years. That's why style changes every 5 years, and we got no brand loyalty. So if see, all they have to do is make a copycat of what we like, and that's going to be the next hottest thing. So all of the black fashion designers, they're going to get outran by the billionaire white fashion designers.
Some of them already working with it, but if you notice
they're going to
now,
make something bigger and better, and then they know that we'll jump off the train and go over here because there's no brand loyalty. See, we don't understand that. So again,
hey Lamont, they already got black designers working for these white companies anyway.
Yep, just like that off-white dude. He went over to Louis Vuitton. Look at Dapper Dan. He went over to Gucci and all of that. So they are top designers.
It's not even just that. I didn't seen like a Fashion Nova, and I just now Forever 21. I didn't seen Forever 21. They stole designs from Carter. Now I didn't seen some of these Gucci. All of them, they steal designs from our own black businesses that people say that they don't want to support. I say
Gucci stole all of the shit from Dapper Dan up in New York. Like
it
this dude was
Gucci.
the first
A lot of them did. A lot of them
he was the first one with the Gucci belts and bags and putting Gucci on your car seats and all that shit. He started all that shit. And Gucci just took it and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they all do. Like they copy our brands and get rich off of it. But like Lamont said, that was big. We don't have brand loyalty. Like if we would have stuck with Carl Canal, or they would have never went out of business. Like we just, like you said, we hop from one. We like economic tricks. Like,
but like, look, if you look at Polo, for the most part, Polo ain't changed this design. Just a little logo on a T-shirt for years and years and years and years.
Because of
the brand loyalty, people will still buy it just because of that little logo. Right? They don't have to put a whole bunch of stripes and belts and all this stuff. It's just
change
a
the color inside.
Brand loyalty.
Hey,
People
logging out. Hey, good talk though, fellas, man. Always support black businesses. I'm gonna help my neighbor get out. She's stuck. But stay strong. Stay black.
We about to wrap it up anyway here.
Don't slip on no ice, man.
I ain't gonna try to, man.
I want y'all to, if you haven't done so already, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. We have a group on Facebook, investment and marketing strategies group. A lot of people have been posting some good information in there so far. Make sure you join that group. I just put the link in the chat right there. If you want some investment tips, if you want to try to network with guys, because that's where we're really trying to build a community and network in there, where we can probably start some of our own investment groups. So we can, maybe work to start building some type of wealth on our own. But it's only going to start by networking and just kind of gauging each other's brains to see what we can come up with some of the best ideas and investment strategies. So make sure you hit that link for the FYL Sports Investment and Marketing Strategies group. Anybody else? I got anything before we get up out of here?
No, I just gotta say, I like the conversation, the discussion today. This is like something different, and we could probably, do something like this more often because it gives a lot of knowledge and education. I like everybody. I like everybody.
Forget your feelings, man. Listen, man. It is what that's what the channel call, man. Forget your feelings, man.
Hey, Lamont, just appreciation for you for having this conversation, and appreciate everybody for subscribing to channels and things like that. Cause we got to support each other in that way as well. So
I appreciate it too, man. And we have to not be afraid to have these discussions. I mean, you see the numbers drop when these discussions come up because a lot of people are intimidated by it. Every group gets to be loyal to their group except for us, and the reason for that is because they know the strength in our numbers. When we all united, black people is the most dangerous people on this planet. when we all united, because we had a talent and gifts like to do everything. We just don't know how to unite with each other and support each other. So discussions like this is important, because you got younger guys like CA3 in here that can learn a lot from this, and he can take that over to his generation and pay it forward. So it's all about paying it forward, man. Like the older generation failed a lot of the younger generation because they gave up on them. But you can't give up, man. You will always find somebody in there, like Tupac said, he gonna spark the mind of somebody that's gonna change the world. You never know what this information to do to somebody that's young that can carry this over. So always support each other and don't be afraid to have these conversations.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be dropping some really good credit information in that group. It's gonna be free information. I'm also gonna drop the links to the forums, but as far as cleaning up your credit on your own, there's a way you can opt out of certain verification companies or secondary verification companies that do all the verification for some of these credit agencies. And you can really clean up your credit if you do it the right way. So make sure you join that group, man, the FYF Sports Investing and Marketing Strategies group, because I'm going to drop that information in there for free. Like I said, no charge. No, again, if you do have a service that you want to offer, just hop in the group, man. As long as it's legit, man. Obviously we're gonna vet it, but man, we'll let you put it in there and see if anybody wants to take you up on it. But you got to join that group if you want to make something happen. All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down. No, appreciate everybody jumping in today. Great chat, man. Like I said, we had to touch on it. This is a way you can talk about everything without offending people. I think we did a good job of that today. I mean, so salute to everybody for staying on point with the conversation, not getting off on a tangent, because this was one of those topics where it could have easily went left and it didn't.
Or don't be a Lord Ninja, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't do a Lord Ninja on us, man. Report the video, man. It's just all for research purposes only, y'all. We just trying to get a better understanding of what's going on. That's all it is, man. So don't report the video. But hey, we're gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Make sure Sunday I'm gonna be doing a Super Bowl live. So if you want to win some prizes before the Super Bowl start, make sure you tune in, man. We're gonna be giving away prizes live, just a little random gifts. But other than that, we'll be live tomorrow. We're probably gonna drop a podcast video in the morning as well. But until then, it's FYF Sports, man, and we up out of here, y'all.
Salute.
Salute.
DJChronicMix.com